animal husbandry, do-it-yourself, home remedies, alternative energy, survivalism, unschooling, and more. Those details are found online at thehomestead.guru. This is the Liberty Beat, powered by the SNLS Network at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
An unpopular police officer thinks about committing a racially motivated offense for a little support. A middle-aged man is having the best snacks of his life, and a housefly drops everything to go stand on a watermelon slice. This is the Onion Week in Review. Noting the youth center's ping-pong table and array of DVDs and Blu-rays, local youth minister Mark Kindler told reporters this week that his church's new rec room has everything a teen could want. The youth pastor revealed that the basement facility's many teen-friendly amenities include a new Wii U console, an iPod dock for the teens to play any music they like, and some comfortable recliners for those who just want to relax or do their homework after school.
We've really gone out of our way to give the rec room a laid-back atmosphere. It's stocked with snacks, but sometimes at the end of the week, we'll spring for some pizza. Honestly, I wish I had a place like this when I was their age.
In other news, increased violence leads the State Department to issue an advisory for Americans traveling to 1861, and an elderly lobbyist is always droning on about how little legislation used to cost in his day.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live, and it's the live Saturday edition of the program. Open phones, as always. Should you wish to join us, you may do so. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Joining you tonight, it's Ian.
And the captain. And also, no, Mark is not here. Get over it.
I don't know when the next time Mark will be here on a Saturday. He is leaving within hours. I mean, he's leaving tonight, I think, at like 1 a.m. or something.
Yeah.
Out of Boston.
I do want to give him a shout out of thanks. He assisted me in a project this week that he didn't have to. He voluntarily took it on. And
he's just that kind of guy.
And so I want to give him a shout out of thanks. Mark, you the man.
And I will give him best wishes and safe travels because he's going to be on a 15-hour flight to Hong Kong from Boston. So straight flight.
Wow.
Boston to Hong Kong.
That's a long time.
It is. We did 12 hours when we 12 or 13 when we went to Japan when he was rejected from Japan. So he was on a flight for 12 hours and then got back on another flight to go back home. I was able to get in.
I think I would have to take at least one dump on that flight. You know what I mean?
I think I may have.
John, you know?
I'm not sure.
I try to avoid using the John in the airplane itself.
Yeah.
If at all possible.
It's just not. It's not fun to do that. The worst part's getting up and like having to get past people, honestly. That's the part I hate about it, especially if somebody's asleep, because then it's like you got to nudge them like, hey, man, sorry, I got to go.
Or the crying baby that doesn't shut up for 15 hours. That's my favorite.
Yeah, it doesn't get worse than that.
I'm kidding. That's not my favorite.
It doesn't get worse than that. Do they have like baby-free airlines?
I don't know. You would think they would in a free market, right?
Because weren't you telling me that there was like a movie theater where there's like a baby-free zone?
Yeah, there's a place called Cinnabar. There's one in the Seattle area.
Cinnabar. It sounds like I'm going to be getting some cinnamon buns or something like that.
It does, right? Yeah, it's spelled weird too. It's like Cinebarre, right?
It's fancy.
Cinnabar.
Yeah.
But it's
in Vermont they pronounce that berry.
Cinnabarre. It's a movie theater where they serve booze and food.
Yeah.
And thus it's 21 plus.
Oh, yeah.
Only, right? Ever.
Okay.
Right? So no teenagers, no unruly. Yeah, it's I mean, and the price of the ticket was regular, and then the price of like the booze and the food was
not
like
outrageous.
Not like you would normally go to some other nice place with good food.
Right. Instead of just getting some crappy popcorn and candy, you get some decent food, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So you can talk about anything you want here on Free Talk Live. We're actually going to start tonight with I don't know if the story is disturbing or just shocking.
Is it time for a sexy party?
It is time to talk about sex, and specifically a headline over at New York Post that young men are apparently terrified of it, which is a little different than what you'd expect. You know, the stereotype of a young man is that they are, insatiably demanding sex.
I guess your first time, you're nervous. right? You're going into it and you're like, oh, I hope I don't screw this up too badly, right?
That's a factor.
But outside of that, I can't imagine anybody being frightened of it, once you get over that sort of stage fright of the first time.
Well, let's talk about it. Mason, a former college football player from suburban Milwaukee, was almost 20 years old when he lost his virginity. It's a story you don't hear too often. Boys, we're told, are having sex younger and more irresponsibly than ever. But as author Peggy Orenstein learned while doing research on her new book, Boys and Sex, Young Men on Hookups, Love, Porn, Consent, and Navigating the New Masculinity.
That's one heck of a title.
It is.
Man. She could have shortened that up a bit.
Out now, the reality can be very different. For Mason, the young man, the simple act of kissing was something that he largely avoided in high school, afraid that without enough experience, he would do it wrong. He says he thought he was just supposed to know. Even holding hands felt like it came with a risk of humiliation.
Wow.
When he went to college, he met a girl, Jeannie, who invited him back to her dorm room to fool around. He wasn't able to perform and blamed it on the weed that he'd been smoking all night.
Yeah, I can't get it up because I'm too stoned.
It's a new one. I'd never heard that one before. She texted him. I've heard that with drinking. They got a term for that. Yeah, you can't say that on the air.
Whiskey something or another.
But he said the more he thought about it, the more anxious he became after she texted him the next day inviting him to come over again. Once again, his attempts at intimacy fizzled. For Orenstein, who's spent 2 decades writing about the sexuality of girls with bestsellers like Girls and Sex and Don't Call Me Princess, Mason's predicament was difficult to take seriously at first. Like many of us, she'd bought into the cultural stereotypes that all guys are sexually insatiable, ever ready, incapable of refusal, regret, or injury, an idea that just reinforced the most retrograde idea of masculinity. Over the span of 2 years, she spoke to hundreds of boys across the United States, ranging in age from their early teens to mid-20s, and spanning all races, socioeconomic backgrounds, religious beliefs, and even sexual orientations. She learned that a surprising number of them don't live up to the gender cliches, meaning they aren't hormone-driven Frankenstein's monsters obsessed with sex and unconcerned with the consequences. In fact, they're pushing back against cultural expectations, and many are going so far as to avoid sex altogether.
I mean, there's all types of people, right? So this doesn't, this sounds like a large generalization of young men, right? Is there research to back this
You mean
up?
the generalization that they're insatiably horny? That generalization?
No, actually, that's the part I agree with, is like, I'm pretty sure young men are still insatiably horny, right?
Well, that's the stereotype.
Right.
And that's what she's saying. She says, after her interviews with hundreds of young men, doesn't hold.
Okay, I guess we'll find out as the article goes on.
According to the latest data by the General Social Survey, men between the ages of 18 and 29 are having less sex than ever. The number of abstinent men has nearly tripled in the last decade. Now, this was shocking to me. From 10% in the year 2008 to 28% last year. Almost 1 out of 3 men between 18 and 29 are abstinent. And that's usually a choice, right? Like, abstinence is something that you've decided you're not going to have sex. It's not like you're trying and failing.
Yeah,
that's not abstinence.
It's not involuntary. That is a decision that is made, right? You declare yourself that. That
is something that's a huge number, a huge move in just 10 years' time to go from 10% to 28%. Again, men between ages 18 and 29.
Well, what's going on with the women in that same demographic? Are they
excellent question?
Are they just banging older, or what's going on?
I don't have that, but if you wanted to search for General Social Survey, that may reveal that, because that's what they're referring to here. So those are numbers that are separate from what the author of the book was doing. But as Orenstein discovered, it's a movement that exists largely in secret. Rather than declaring their abstinence, they come up with excuses for their lack of sexual interest, like the college sophomore that Orenstein interviewed who frequently faked whiskey, as you pointed out, which we can't say the second word, to avoid hookups. Or Mitchell in Los Angeles, who avoided sex with his high school girlfriend for years because he was terrified that his sexual ability, quote, would just be sufficient. Unquote. While girls struggle to find the magic middle ground between prude and slut, boys are, quote, pushed to be as sexually active as possible, she writes, to knock out their firsts, regardless of the circumstances or how they felt about their partners. Nate, a high school junior from the San Francisco area, is terrified of sex because he's certain the girls in his peer group already have more experience than him. Quote, she's going to know how to do things and you won't, he told the author. He said that's a problem if she tells people you've got floppy lips or don't know how to get her bra off. I'm not sure what floppy lips means, but we'll move on. He wants to have a girlfriend someday, but for now he says, quote, I'm afraid of intimacy.
I knew a girl named Floppy
unquote.
Lips. I'm just kidding.
And, it's sad that people are afraid of these sorts of things. But ultimately, the first time for somebody is going to be an awkward experience. Yeah. It's not going to be what you see in the movies or pornography, and they address porn coming up here in the story. But if you want to weigh in on this, if you're a young person today, are you one of the nearly third, apparently, of young males?
Sounds like a lot.
Does sound like a lot, that are choosing to be abstinent from sex. And the toll-free number, if you want to join us here, is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. And if you want to weigh in, you can. You can also bring up whatever's on your mind. Some more interesting, observations about young people today. And we've talked about teenagers before and just sort of their lack of even having human relationships is a thing now.
That's weird.
Like, they don't hang out anymore. They'd go online on apps together, but they don't actually get together in person in a lot of cases.
Wow.
We're coming up.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. Local.bitcoin.com. I want to tell you about my favorite cryptocurrency wallet, Edge Wallet, at edge.app. Edge is the wallet I use more than any other, and that was true long before Edge Wallet became a sponsor of Free Talk Live. Edge Wallet allows you to buy, sell, trade, and securely hold your cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, tokens, Monero, Ripple, Dash, Bitcoin Cash, and more. It's available for both Android and iOS, and you can download it via the Play or App Store or via Edge Wallet's website, edge.app. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet. Have you heard of LibertyCon? LibertyCon is not only a convention with great speakers like Whole Foods CEO and co-founder John Mackey and Nobel Prize winner Vernon Smith, but it's also unique because you get a chance to network with more than 70 pro-liberty organizations, one-on-one for the purpose of career advancement, business, and internship opportunities. April 3rd through 5th in Washington, D.C. You can learn more by visiting libertycon.com and use code FTL for a $10 discount on your registration. That's libertycon.com.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer-term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever you want here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We're talking about some surprising numbers. An interesting story over at the New York Post looking at a new book, but also one of the studies that is looking at sexual proclivities and what people think about it these days. The General Social Survey finding that men between the ages of 18 and 29 having less sex than ever. The number of abstinent men has nearly tripled in the last decade, going from 10% in 2008 to 28% last year. So that's a shocking number. With you tonight, by the way, it's Ian.
And I am the captain.
By the way, of course, good nutrition is key to looking and feeling great, but eating right all the time can be a challenge. Travel and work schedules can get in the way, or maybe you just don't have the desire or the time to shop and cook the right foods. Well, Balance of Nature can help you. They've got their Balance of Nature fruit capsules, 3 of them, plus 3 of their veggie capsules. It gets you 10 servings of fruits and vegetables, and that's a lot of nutrition. You can, for a limited time, get on over to balanceofnature.com, use code FTL. You'll become a preferred customer and get the best pricing and free shipping. Plus, after your 3rd month, Balance of Nature will ship to you at no charge an additional set of fruits and veggies. So head over to balanceofnature.com and use code FTL to get that deal as we go to your calls and thoughts. You can bring up whatever you want, more about sex here in moments, but we've got first John in Ohio watching on YouTube. Go ahead, John.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
Hey, you're on the air.
Hey, John.
Hey, I know a reason why on this topic why the number is going down.
Why is that?
It's because, in colleges, I mean, a lot of white males are brainwashed by Jews to not do it with white women. They decided to do it to themselves.
Yeah, you really believe that?
Yeah, I mean, I was in college, and I've seen it firsthand, and there's all kinds of...
What kind of numbers are we talking about? Do you have data to support your hypothesis?
Probably across the country.
What kind of brainwashing? How did they do it to you exactly?
Rats.
Huh?
Anywhere where rats like to deceive.
Yeah, you're despicable. The toll-free number is 8... I told you. Didn't I tell you?
You did.
About that caller?
Yep.
855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. And I suspect this one will be just as bad. Daryl, go ahead.
Hello?
Keep it together, man. You're on the radio.
Have you guys watched a documentary?
Yeah, you can't even hold it together, dude. It's pathetic.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes, I have watched a documentary.
I have.
Yeah.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. That was one of my favorites.
Good call.
I actually have made a documentary as the executive producer.
One of the scariest documentaries I've ever seen, and this is just personal opinion, out of nowhere, out of left field, is a documentary called Divorce Corp.
Really?
Yeah, it is, and it's hosted by like Dr. Drew or something like that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But it's all about the horrors of family court.
Oh yeah,
and how we talk a lot about how like regular court and government sucks, and all that kind of stuff.
It's even worse.
But family court has even less like oversight or governance, or and like it can affect your entire life, and there's nothing you can do about it. Absolutely nothing. It is one of the scariest movies I've ever seen.
Here's what you can do about it: get a vasectomy. That's what you can do.
Fact.
I mean, I heard all the horrifying stories when I was growing up, and it was like, yeah, I don't want anything to do with this.
But that might not even do. So there are laws like I think Washington State is one of them where like if you move in with somebody who has kids that aren't yours
and you spend enough time together,
time together that then they can come at you for child support if you like
you're
break
like
up
automatically married or something after X amount of years.
Yeah, some sort of weird common law thing kicks in, and then all of a sudden, so like basically a person could be collecting double the child support.
And, maybe that's part of the reason why there's more abstinence these days. Maybe these young men are hearing some of these stories, and they're saying to themselves, you know what? I don't want anything to do with it.
Maybe.
Because it sounds like a nightmare. I mean, we had a guy here in Keene, New Hampshire, where we do the show from. He set himself on fire in front of the courthouse
because of
the court system, because of the family court system. He was getting ready to be put back in jail because he had been without a job. It was like 2011 was when this happened. He was out, hadn't been at work. He owed child support and couldn't pay. So you can't pay? Well, we're just going to put you in jail because that's going to help you pay. And so he was being told he was going to have to report back to jail. And he just didn't want to do it.
I've had some...
he killed himself.
That's horrible. I've had some friends of mine get upset with me because I wouldn't go to like their wedding, right? I'm like, I'll go to the reception, but I'm not gonna go to the ceremony, right? And they're like, why? I'm like, I just... I don't feel like you should involve the government in your personal relationships, and so that's my sort of like protest against it. You know what I mean? So like, if they want to get married or whatever, fire out solid and right on, and if you're gonna have like the party after, I'll totally be down to party, right? But I don't want to go to the ceremony.
Were they okay with that? Like, yeah, sure, you can come to our reception and eat all our food, but
I did go to a couple of receptions. Yeah, it's true. It's true. No, that's fine, Captain. You just come to the reception. It's cool, right?
Okay. Yeah, well, if they're cool with it, like, it seems like you should do one if you're going to do the other. Like, if you're going to go and eat the food at the reception or drink their alcohol, you should probably go and watch.
I mean, win-win for me, right?
Yeah, hey, man. If they're cool with it, then no problem. So back to the story here about young men. This is ages 18 to 29 in the United States. Not interested, it seems like, in sex like you might expect them to be, because the stereotype of a young man is that, they're virile, they're ready to go, they're ready to get out there and spread their seed. But apparently fewer than in recent years are now involved in it. 18 to 29, less sex than ever. 28% of them, as of last year, are abstinent, meaning that's their choice. However, the author of this book that they're looking at the New York Post, with the incredibly lengthy title, Boys and Sex, Young Men on Hookups, Love Porn, Consent, and Navigating the New Masculinity, she says that of the hundreds of boys that she spoke with, they keep it a secret. They don't want people to know that they're not interested in this because, that's breaking the stereotype, right? People are going to make fun of them, probably. The paralyzing fear of sexual inadequacy begins for many boys with online pornography. Sexually explicit videos have never been so easy to find. A 2018 Bitdefender study found that 22% of online porn is watched by kids under the age of 10.
Oh.
And it's warping their form. Remember back in the day, Captain Kickass, when you had to like smuggle one of your friend's dad's Playboy magazines?
They're under the mattress.
Right? I mean, it was like that, right? When we were growing up. I mean, you and I are a little bit of a different age between one another, but
yeah, but I'm older than the internet, so you know. Yeah, you had to get porn in the old-fashioned way, the analog version, right?
I remember sliding. I specifically remember being in elementary school and sliding a Playboy magazine under the bus seats between one another so we could check it out.
For all the youngsters out there, you used to have to look at one still shot of a magazine for like a while, right?
Yeah.
And then you could turn the page and then look at another still shot, right? So you're spoiled with all this porn video that
eventually
you've got
they
these days.
came out with VHS tapes.
Okay, but
and that
still
changed the game, I think. But you still had to find a friend or,
But then you had to deal with like, oops, I accidentally put the porn in the, Terminator return box and, sent it back to the video store.
Or it was in the VHS deck. And your parents came home and you forgot to eject it from the VHS
Why is Debbie
deck.
Does Dallas in our VHS player? Where did this come from?
So if you want to join here, you can jump into the conversation and how things are changing. Young people today seem to be less physically connected with each other, period. As I was mentioning before, studies are showing that teenagers are less likely to just even hang out. They've got friends, but they don't spend time with them. And that also plays into whatever relationships or lack thereof that they have as far as a romantic relationship. And as we're seeing, it's true up to ages 29, maybe even beyond that. We're just looking at these numbers here. 855-450-FREE. That's our toll-free number. We'll continue, and you can weigh in, share your thoughts on Free Talk Live.
Balance of Nature. Changing the world, one life at a time.
Your product is absolutely amazing. I can't tell you how my life has been changed so completely. I'm just at a loss to describe. I don't know how I could ever tell Dr. Howard and Susan, his dear wife, how much I deeply appreciate all the work they put into this magnificent product. I mean, there's so many things that have improved, and I'm only just beginning.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. Call or go online now and become a preferred customer, which gives you our best pricing and free shipping. And we will take an additional 35% off of your first order. This will be a limited time offer, so don't wait. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code FTL.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live, the live Saturday edition of the program. You can join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've been talking about young men And I don't know if I think this is specifically American young men. At least that's my understanding of what the studies are looking at here.
I assumed that, but you didn't state that specifically, I guess, so good clarification.
Way it's looking, but it actually may be beyond. We'll get into a little bit more information here that actually shows it may actually be beyond the United States where these things are happening, where young men are not as sexually driven as the stereotypes have made them out to be over the years. In fact, it seems like they're even less so than they were just 10 years ago. So we'll talk more about it. The toll-free number, if you want to join us here, 855-450-FREE. But first, tell me about Liberty.menu, Captain.
Well, for years, libertarians of all stripes have wanted a directory of liberty-minded businesses, and we're helping build one at Liberty.menu. Liberty.menu is a tool for your community. At its core, it's a directory for events, businesses, and digital content, and more. Listings can be rated and reviewed, and there's a bit of social network, too, so you can connect and share with others. Use Liberty.menu. Use of Liberty.menu is exclusively for individuals who reject the initiation of force and those who agree to abide by the ethics of the non-aggression principle. Put your voluntarist ideas into action at Liberty.menu and use code FTL to get a special badge. That's Liberty.menu.
We're going to continue. We will take more of your calls and thoughts. We'll start out with Tom calling in Florida. Tom, you in the Tallahassee area?
Yes, sir.
You must be listening to WVFT on FM. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, I was just going to comment. I heard you mention a state where if a young man lives with a woman that he could be liable for child support.
Yes.
I am 63 years old. I was born and raised in Kentucky and was involved with a married woman, but we had 2 children, and she said that they were mine, but she never got divorced. And I'm 63. The children in question are 43 and 41, and I am still paying child support.
Wow. Man, sorry to hear that story, Tom. Unfortunately, it's hard to understand you. Your phone is very muffled. It sounds almost like you're talking through a pillow.
I'm on the side of the road with my...
Yeah.
And we're having...
So you're still paying child support on adult children in their 40s?
Yes, arrears.
Oh, my God.
So there's no, expiration date for, once they hit 18?
It was supposed to have been 8 years ago, but nobody will listen to me. And they just legal aid said, don't rock the boat.
Tom, thanks for the call tonight. Appreciate your story. I'm sorry to hear it. And it's just like you said, Captain. These are innumerable. I mean, if we did a radio show that was just about the family court system, we would have no shortage of content. No. It would be every night, wall-to-wall phone calls of people telling their horror stories of what has happened to them, both men and women, by the way.
And it keeps happening.
It does tend to screw over men more often than women, but they will screw people over on both sides of the coin. Let's continue here. We've got Sebastian listening to KENN in New Mexico. Sebastian, you're on Free Talk Live.
Wow. Hi, I got on.
That's cool. Here you are.
So I had a little thing with so I'm a millennial. I'm 24.
Okay.
And
right.
I have a buddy who's about my age, and he has a hard time, he's got a hard time with erectile dysfunction already at our age, which is insane to think about.
Wow.
And it's, I think partly due, because he shared with me that he watched a lot of porn from a very young age all the way up. And he even thinks that part of that has somehow caused some sort of maybe chemical imbalance or something to where it is kind of messed with his sex life a little bit.
It is readily available. I mean, more so than it ever has been at any time. The idea that it might have some effect on young men, is not unique to today's program. So it's definitely possible. I don't know that. I haven't delved into this subject enough to research data on is it the great pacifier?
One thing's for sure, pornography can absolutely create unrealistic expectations,
For sure.
right? Unrealistic expectations about what sex is like, should be like, how often it can happen in the circumstances. Like, the whole thing is completely unrealistic.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing realistic about pornography. And then they, get into their first situation. It's nothing like what they were expecting. And maybe there's all this performance expectation that they've created for themselves, thinking that they will be at the level of the men that are, in the pornography, which of course is also completely unrealistic. And that could be a real letdown when it turns out you're not like, what's the old classic porn guy?
What's right? Well, and there's also, there's probably something to be said.
Ron
too.
Jeremy. That was the name I was looking for. You're not Ron Jeremy. You know what I mean? Sorry. Go ahead.
Never trust a man.
But
with
it's
two
interesting
first
that
names.
he's confided in you. You're just, you're a friend of his, and he's told you about this.
Right.
First of all, you're a good friend for listening.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And because I give crap, like guys do. I'm like, hey, man, get out there. What are you doing? And then he shared that with me. I was like, oh, okay, I see why you're not. Because he just got divorced and he's having a hard time. So I was just like, come on, man, do it. And then he explained why he's a little bit afraid. And I was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense at our age. That's definitely a thing.
So he's already divorced. How old is he? You said you're like, what, 24?
I'm 24. He's, I think, 26. I think he's 2 years older than me.
There are services out there, sex counselors and things of that nature, private services that can help somebody with that kind of a thing, so that they feel more confident, going into a relationship or at least hooking up, that kind of a thing.
Well, and there's also something to be said about at least at my age, I think the Me Too culture has definitely scared a lot of people out of with the whole. Am I going to do this with this person and then her later be like, wow, why did I do that with that guy? That must have been something I didn't want.
Oh, right. The pound me too.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, that's frightening. And now you've got in colleges, there's these sex contracts that they want you to have. They want you to have consent basically from the other person at every step along the way, and you have to ask permission, and it takes any kind of moment away from that.
It's funny because when I was growing up, there used to be this fake business card that would float around, and it was good for one free sexual favor, right? You know what I mean? And you would give that to the person that you were interested in.
Yeah, you would definitely be in the doghouse for that one these days. It's insane. I don't know. I just feel like that's also part of it, at least on college campuses, these more leftist college campuses, is you're definitely going to run into, well, I'm just not even going to do it at all because of the fact that I don't know if the person I'm going to do this with is trustable or somebody who will, actually, because obviously in the moment you feel like it's consent and all of that. And then all of a sudden I thought it was totally fine.
Yeah, that's a real concern. Why step into a minefield when you can just avoid the minefield? And, well, of course, then you don't have intimacy. You don't find a partner. You don't end up being with somebody that you can trust. And, you probably will have to go through some untrustworthy people before you find one that is trustworthy. And, yeah, those are all real frustrations. And I don't blame somebody for saying, you know what, forget this. Why bother? Sebastian, anything else you want to share tonight? It's been a good call.
Well, there was one more thing you guys touched on, child support, and I know that you could go, like you said, for hours and hours and hours on it. But honestly, in my personal life, the scariest STD you can catch is a pregnancy, and it's because of that. I watched my dad become homeless and live out of his truck, and then, one day I was driving. Remember, I left the Walmart and I saw my dad holding any cash, please help, whatever on the corner. You know what I mean? So it was it was rough, and that's, for me personally, a pregnancy is the scariest.
It's terrifying. Sebastian, thanks for the call. We got more coming up. Free Talk Live.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
Warning,
If you're drowning in debt you can't afford, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to pay it all back, because you don't. What the credit card companies don't want you to know is that there's actually a way to get debt-free without paying off your entire debt or going bankrupt. If you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt, you now have the right to let us settle that debt for a fraction of what you owe. For free information, call Credit Associates now. 1-800-976-1460. We'll even show you how much money you could save. If you can't afford to pay off all your debt, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to. Call Credit Associates now for free information on how to get debt-free faster than you ever thought possible without debt consolidation or bankruptcy. We depend on your success and offer a guarantee, so there's no risk. For free information, call now. 1-800-976-1460. That's 1-800-976-1460. 1-800-976-1460.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You're invited to join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We got more coming up on young men having less sex than previously, like surprising numbers of them just joining the ranks of the abstinent. What are the reasons for it? We'll get into it. It's Ian and Captain Kickass here in the studio tonight. Also, want to say thank you to Voluntary Gary. Voluntary Gary is a Free Talk Live Gold amplifier. That means that Voluntary Gary is contributing $10 a month to the AMP program.
Oh, thanks, Gary.
Yeah, it's pretty great. Thank you. AMP stands for Advertise, Market, and Promote. And the idea is we take that $10 a month in, we combine it with other people's. We only ask for $5, so he's doing twice as much. So thanks. But we combine it all together, and then we do things like advertise, market, and promote Free Talk Live. We advertise in Talkers Magazine, which is like the industry publication of note for the talk radio business. We've been with Talkers for many years now, probably more than a decade. And we go to their convention that they do once a year in New York City. Nice. We, reach out to radio stations to introduce them to Free Talk Live and get them on board. That's the reason we have over 200 radio stations today. from coast to coast and beyond in the United States is because of listeners like Voluntary Gary joining the AMP program. And, of course, you get some perks. You get some bennies for joining up, like access to the special AMP chat rooms on our Discord server. There's an AMP-only Facebook group for those of you still using Facebook. So head on over to amp.freetalklive.com. There's a list of the stuff that you can get there as bonuses for joining the AMP program, and also a list of the way that we're spending the money there at ampamp.freetalklive.com. We go back to your phone calls and thoughts. You don't have to call about sexual proclivities and how people are having less of it these days at younger ages. You can bring up anything, like Jerome in South Carolina, listening to WTMA in Charleston. Hello, Jerome. Jerome in South Carolina. Jerome going once. Jerome going twice. Do we have Jerome? I'm not hearing him. We're going to put him back on hold. He's usually a good caller. Maybe there was an issue with his cell phone or something like that. We'll see if we can get him in here in a moment. Let's bring David in New Mexico on the line. David, you're on Free Talk Live with Ian and the Captain. Now I'm thinking something's wrong with the board operator. Something may have happened. There may be some sort of technical difficulty because I'm definitely not hearing a David either. So we're just going to put both of them. We're going to put them both on hold, and we'll get back into it. So we've been talking about this story from the New York Post. They're interviewing an author of a book. She has talked to hundreds of young males in the United States, but it may not just be the U.S. where this is happening, where young men are intimidated by the idea of sex, not interested in having it at all. Shocking numbers of them are choosing to be abstinent. Between 18 and 29, the number of abstinent men has nearly tripled in the last decade, from 10% in 2008 to 28% just last year.
That brings to mind, tell me if you've heard this, it's a conspiracy theory that somebody had told me once upon a time. I was like, whatever. But they were saying that pornography and the large availability of it, particularly online, et cetera, and so on, is a government conspiracy to sort of keep men suppressed. Right, the ease at which you can get porn makes it easier for you not to sort of be all full of testosterone and
So you think it
reduces?
Stuff.
Well, they were saying something to
hormones?
the effect. I'm paraphrasing. I don't know the exact terms of it. I'm paraphrasing, but basically the gist was that if porn was turned off, that there would be a revolution overnight. Was basically the gist of their theory, right? Because young men, who are all full of energy and got to get that out, and
I think it's a bad theory,
kind of thing.
because as I understand it, Captain, porn is prohibited in China, so they haven't had a revolution.
That's true.
Now that doesn't mean you can't get it, because it's underground, right?
True,
Then if you prohibit porn, it then becomes the black market.
And so now you're back to the analog under the mattress,
or whatever. However it's distributed. There was a story, I think it was last year, about a black market porn gang in China that the government was either investigating or arresting or whatever, and they had an app, and were distributing pornography in the black market through an app.
Huh, weird.
And they got caught, or they were trying to catch them. I forget all the, there wasn't a whole lot of detail on the story, but
in Russia back in the we'll say the record days, right? They used to take rock and roll and inscribe, just like you would a regular vinyl record.
Yeah.
And they would make a copy of it on an X-ray, whatever that plastic sheet is that they use for X-rays to fill, And so in the underground, people would walk around with these album-shaped cutouts of a person's chest or something, right? And so they could put it on their turntable and play it. That's how they bootlegged rock and roll.
Wow.
Because somehow whatever that sheet of plastic is made of was durable, and it would take the grooves, and it was playable,
Amazing.
Kind of a thing. And so, again, when the government outlaws something, people find a way if there's a demand.
Certainly will. And of course, the real scary part is if you outlaw pornography, then the production of it becomes illegal, and then you're dealing with real dangerous kind of situations where STD testing is no longer a thing. You get real dangerous kind of STDs being spread around amongst those people who are the quote actors in these things. You may have more actually coerced actors, people who didn't want to be in the porn but were forced to. Maybe they owe a gang some money or whatever. They've been kidnapped and they're forced to portray. You may see real snuff films coming out, things like that. It could be a real dark world if porn is forced to go underground. So back to the story. They are talking about pornography pornography here and young people and how they're able to access porn easily now because the internet, right? Like it's hard not to. It's out there. It's prolific. Mason had been watching porn. This is the young man. If you're just tuning in, Mason is now in his 20s and former college football player, lost his virginity at the age of 20, and he's been always very afraid of sex. He avoided kissing in high school. He says he's been watching porn since he was 14, and he claims it convinced him that a hot woman would just magically appear and offer herself up to him. He said, that was my whole perception of how it was supposed to go.
I mean, isn't that what happens in Blade Runner, right? The guy comes home and then like the hologram of like the perfect wife or whatever shows up. Hi, how was your day? Here, lunch is ready, or whatever.
That's the way things are going, though, Captain Kickass. That's what we're going to see happen here.
I welcome our robot overlords.
We're at the very initial threshold of that world becoming a reality. I have a story in my show prep. I don't think we're going to get to it tonight, but about this technology called Neon, which is Samsung has been working on for about 4 months. They displayed it at CES, the Consumer Electronics Show that just is happening or just finished happening.
Yep.
And the guy who's writing about it was blown away by this technology, and it really doesn't do much yet.
Figuratively blown?
No, it's just on a screen at this point. But it's a computer-generated human being who is able to like make eye contact with you and emote, essentially. It doesn't do a whole lot. It's sort of like a tech demo right now, but the way he described it is not hyperbole.
Like
he says he was pretty impressed.
That episode of Black Mirror
with this thing
where they like reproduce the guy who died out of all of his online content, right? So they scan all of his videos and photos. They take samples of all of his, audio from all the voicemails and phone calls that he's left, and then they sort of generate another version of him as an AI online. And then, as a value-added feature for no additional charge, they put that into some sort of a robotic body that's very human and lifelike.
And that's where we're going to. Robot bodies are going to be a thing. So, this is, and you combine the fact that the technology that we can see it coming, we know what's going to happen with technology, with robots, with computer-aided assistants and things like that. Right now, it's just a voice from a speaker, right? People have their home assistant things, and it's not going to be too long before it's a physical person-looking thing. I mean, really, this is going to happen in our lifetime, it seems like. And at the same time, you have humans becoming more disconnected from one another. So even though there are more of us now than there ever have been in the world, and we have all of these ways to connect electronically with one another, and we are, right? Like people are on these social medias or whatever, but they're becoming less social, it seems like, as a result of it. I mean, how many times, have you been at a bar and you've seen a couple sitting on their phones together?
I'll do the thing where I stop by and I'll be like, are you guys texting each other?
You've actually done that to people?
Yeah.
What do they say?
It's fun. Usually, well, because I'm me, I can get away with stuff like that, right? They usually just laugh, oh, ha, ha, ha.
And they put the phones down for a second.
Yeah.
And then a minute later.
And then I walk away and they're like,
yep.
Pick it back up.
So, so we're going to continue with this. In fact, I think we did get Jerome on the line here. There was technical difficulties at the studios. Jerome, we have you now. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think we just live in an over sexualized society, okay? And I'm especially talking about shows like The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, where they put on these stupid young people and they go through all this garbage. I mean, it's just, I can't even watch mess like that. And then they got these shows where Who's the Daddy and all of that mess.
Or like MTV, they've got like
ridiculous.
Hold on, Jerome. We're going to come back to you here. I'm glad to hear Jerome commenting on something besides the Republicans and Democrats. It's nice to hear another conversation. We're going to continue. We'll bring Jerome back on. Your calls are also welcome. We got plenty of open phones for you tonight. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Join us here on Free Talk Live.
Do you want more businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash? Now with AnyPay, you earn passive income for every purchase at those businesses. Finally, a financial incentive to spread Bitcoin Cash and Dash. You made it happen, so you get the rewards. Download the AnyPay Cash Register app and add your cryptocurrency wallet addresses. Then install it at a real-life business and tell us what you did at anypayinc.com. anypayinc.com.
Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with the SNLS Network and listeners like you. Online at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,552, silver at $17.90, and Bitcoin is trading around $7,825. Today's gold, silver, and Bitcoin prices are brought to you by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. The Liberty Beat and Brave Botanicals believe so strongly in the power of kratom, we're giving it away for free. Just go to libertybeat.news/free kratom. This is the Liberty Beat at snlsnetwork.com. In the news, Iran's civil aviation chief is rejecting U.S. claims that Ukraine International Airlines Flight 752 was shot down by Iranian missiles as illogical rumors. On Thursday, Newsweek was among the first U.S. media outlets to cite an anonymous Pentagon official, an anonymous senior U.S. intelligence official, and an Iraqi intelligence official in a report claiming that the Ukrainian jet that crashed shortly after taking off from Tehran was struck by an anti-aircraft missile system. Newsweek's report comes on the heels of a Reuters report, which indicated that the crash of the plane had suffered a technical malfunction and was not shut down. According to Times of Israel, the report quoted 5 unnamed security sources, 3 Americans, 1 European, and 1 Canadian, as saying the initial assessment is that Iran's explanation is accurate. However, an unnamed U.S. official later told Reuters the U.S. satellites detected the launch of 2 missiles before the plane crashed. Ever wonder where we find all the news to report right here on the Liberty Beat? Visit snls.news to get the world's most censored media published all in one place. Save yourself from the endless time spent searching for reliable alternative media. SNLS News makes it quick and easy. No ads, no clickbait, just raw headlines, 24 hours a day. Visit snls.news and get informed today without the corporate media spin. Your news now continues. It's no secret that Bill Clinton was friends with convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein. But not only were the pair friends, Epstein donated significantly to the Clinton Foundation and reportedly played a role in creating the Clinton Global Initiative. The Mind Unleashed reports that it's been widely known that the former president was a frequent passenger on Epstein's private jet, the Lolita Express. Clinton flew on the jet at least 26 times, sometimes with Secret Service and sometimes without. One of the most notable trips took Clinton to Africa in 2002, along with fellow passengers Kevin Spacey, Ghislaine Maxwell, and Ron Burkle. But now, thanks to photos obtained by The Sun, Clinton's adventures on the Lolita Express are more than just flight logs. According to a new National Bureau of Economic Research paper, approximately 100% of the costs associated with the tariffs on Chinese goods have fallen onto American importers and consumers. Activist Post reports it's a simple economic fact that those at the bottom of the production hierarchy, or the consumers, will pay cost increases for any reason. Tariffs are no exception. Research is consistently showing that the finite laws of basic economics don't get broken. In fact, the more government meddling in the issue, the worse it's getting. Free trade should be a human right, but governments of the world have taken it upon themselves to squash the freedom to trade with others for power and political gain. President Donald Trump has repeatedly and falsely claimed that China and other nations have paid the tariffs he levied on thousands of products over the past 2 years. But approximately 100% of those costs have fallen onto American buyers, according to the new National Bureau of Economic Research paper. Support for the Liberty Beat is brought to you by the Homestead Guru. The Homestead Guru is an educational website offering tips, tools, news, stories, and commentary on everything homesteading. Topics include green homes, gardening, animal husbandry, do-it-yourself, home remedies, alternative energy, survivalism, unschooling, and more. Those details are found online at thehomestead.guru. This is the Liberty Beat, powered by the SNLS Network at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Captain Actual America is overweight and hopelessly in debt, and the Richie Rich comic strip introduces a new, even gayer character. As if you needed another reason to remain in your isolated and socially degenerative cocoon, this is the Onion Week in Review, Comics Edition. Sources confirmed Tuesday that the Comic Book and Sci-Fi Expo Comic-Con was once again marred by BullyCon, an increasingly popular event held in the same convention space. Now in its 5th year, BullyCon reportedly drew more than 125,000 tormentors from across the nation, all of whom were bent on beating up and torturing those attending the many comic book, television, and movie panels at Comic-Con.
When this got started, it was just a couple of friends who wanted to beat the shit out of some Joss Whedon fans, but now there are thousands of us, ruining Walking Dead panels, taunting Harry Potter nerds, and really making some video gamers' lives completely miserable. I don't necessarily need to travel to San Diego to slap a copy of Spider-Man out of some pussy's hands, but there's something really special about coming together with people who dig the same sort of cruelty you do.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. We're launching into the second hour of this live Saturday episode of Free Talk Live. The toll-free number if you want to join us is 855-450 free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We're talking about a story in the New York Post about young males and what they describe here as terror surrounding sex, their fear about sex and intimacy, and what's causing this, and why are so many of them choosing to be abstinent now. They're breaking the stereotype of the young, insatiably horny male. Apparently that is just not the case, with now 10% back in 2008 choosing abstinence, up to 28% as of last year. So in just a decade, nearly tripling in those numbers, people being more disconnected than ever before. It's Ian and Captain Kickass in the studio. We're going to bring back on Jerome in South Carolina. You were bemoaning, Jerome, the sort of popular culture, like television shows like The Bachelor, sort of on your comments about this. Can you recap that for us?
Yeah, shows like Jerry Springer, and then you got Maury with the Who's the Daddy stuff. It's just, to see people just degrade themselves and people make money off of that stuff, it's just disgraceful, man.
You also, before you go on, Jerome, I gotta wonder how many of these Jerry Springer, Maury Povich guests are actually real. And the reason
ABC2 with the Dancing with the Stars, the women throwing their legs up in the air and all that mess. Then you got The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. I can't watch that crap. But I just got one more thing to mention for you, Lugo. Hey, after watching Trump's interview with Laura Ingraham, if I had one scintilla of doubt about what a pathological liar he is, he removed all of that. He wants to use executive privilege. The only people that use executive privilege are the ones that have something to cover up. That's why he didn't want to do a sit-down interview with Mueller, okay? And his lapdogs on the radio and in the media and TV, they can keep on lying all they want, but they're never going to convince me that he's innocent.
Well,
Never.
of course he's a liar. He's a politician, just like every other president before him. They've all been lying scum.
I mean, it's part of the job.
Jerome, thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate it.
Hey, real quick, I just wanted to mention on the Jerry Springer bit, I know several people who have been on Jerry Springer. I know an entire band. They're called the Mentors.
And what was the reason they were on the show?
Well, because they were one of the first, we'll call them shock rock bands. They refer to themselves, believe it or not, as rape rock.
Oh, my.
Yeah, so they created a bit of a stir back in the mid-'80s and got put on the Jerry Springer show to be like...
Just because of the
scary,
content
right?
of the
content
the
of
songs.
their music. And so, like, those guys are a Seattle-based band, right? They're sort of
So
underground
these guys
legends.
are way before Cannibal Corpse then.
Way before.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I used to work with the guy who got dragged onto one of these, he got paid for it, but it was like, yeah, dude, like my sister like married this guy and then like they got divorced and she's got kids with like 2 other dudes and like, the dude wants to know. And so I have to go on to Jerry Springer now to have them, figure out who the dad is or whatever.
So it was legit.
Yeah.
See, the reason I brought it up, and Jerome, I didn't get to tell him the rest of it, but when I was in high school, there was the class of students that had just graduated, so they were the exiting seniors or whatever, and a few of them cooked up a story, and they pitched it to, I don't remember if it was Springer or Ricky Lake, one of those two. They pitched it to them, and they bought it, and it was like some sort of ridiculous love triangle or something, something stupid like that. One of those common topics that you see done over and over again on these shows, and they just did such a good job of lying that they got on the show, and they got an all-expenses-paid trip to New York or wherever it was the show was being. They put you up in a hotel, and they might give you a stipend or something like that, and they got to be on TV. But the whole thing was cooked up. It wasn't real.
Yeah, no, I can confer or agree with your statements, because this guy that I knew that I worked with who went on, there was an all-expense-paid trip. They flew him in, flew him out, hotel, dinner, wine and dine, the whole 9 yards. And he did say that there was some coaching. They encouraged them to be like,
ham it up.
Yeah, ham it up and be, more controversial or more, edgy or whatever than, the actual subject matter was. So,
it's whatever. It's just television. It's just
it's a show. It's supposed to be entertaining.
It's supposed to be entertaining. Exactly. I don't know if I'm going to go so far as Jerome as to say that Jerry Springer is somehow contributing to the decline of society. I mean,
but I do hate reality TV now. I mean, reality TV gives reality a bad freaking name, man.
Is Jerry Springer reality TV?
Well, I mean, he's probably the grandfather of it, right?
Could be.
I would say, that type of a thing, that type of a show probably was like the first inklings of it, right? And then like The Real World and all that kind of stuff. MTV stopped playing music. For those of you who don't know, MTV used to actually play music.
I remember those days.
That's how they got their start. That's what the M in MTV used to stand for.
Music television.
Now it's just for buzz off.
Let's continue here. We got Douglas. He's in Daytona Beach listening to WNDB. Hello, Douglas.
Hello.
Hey, you're on the air.
Yeah, I'm 60 years old, and I had a crush on girls starting as far back as when I was 6 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And there were 2 girls in my that I went to school with that I had a crush on for up until senior, 12th grade. And one of them, when I was in junior high school, I asked her if she liked me, and she said as a friend, and that was a really a hard thing.
Yep.
And I learned about sex and reproduction and anatomy in junior high school and stuff. So I knew a little bit about that. And when I was a teenager, I also got a hold of my parents' sex manual, and I saw pictures of people having sex in those magazines. And then when I was 18 years old, I started going to porn theaters, and I've been watching porn for 42 years.
Right, I forgot about that. They
Remember
had
the theaters? Yeah. They caught Pee Wee Herman in one in my my hometown.
Yeah, I played a show with a band.
I've accumulated over 1,000 DVDs from the 70s to up to 2016.
Quite a collection.
Do you feel like pornography has had an effect on your ability to have a relationship or perform sexually with a real human being, a real woman?
No, my problem was with the rejection for one thing. For another, I have always believed that you do not touch somebody without their permission, so I always wait for the first move. When I was 14 or 15 years old, I had danced with a girl for the first time when my brother's girlfriend got me to dance with her at a Halloween party.
Mm-hmm.
And then after I turned 18, of course, I went to strip clubs and went to porn theaters.
Now, hold on. Just before you go on, you said you always wait for the other person to make the first move. That's an interesting thing to say. It's also got to be really awkward in that situation because, if you're the male, traditionally you're expected to make the first move. So you've actually had success waiting for women to make the first move on you?
Right. And as a result, I did not have sex until I was 25 years old.
Yep.
I went in the Army. I went to foreign countries, and I had sex with prostitutes.
Wow.
And my first time, unlike a lot of virgins who, I don't know if I can say this, didn't last long, I lasted longer than I was supposed to with this prostitute.
Now, is that because
she didn't like it?
Oh, she didn't like it. Oh, that's interesting.
Well, you're only supposed to have 5 minutes.
Okay.
And mine, lasted 15 or whatever.
Right.
So I've only had sex. I've had sex with prostitutes in foreign countries when I was in the Army.
Uh-huh.
And I've been abstinent for 32 years since I got out. But not because I want to. It's because I haven't had a chance.
Well, that's not really. Is that really abstinence? If you would take the chance.
Abstinence is not having sex.
Okay, I thought it was the choice of. I mean, I don't have the definition in front of me, but I thought it was the choice. Somebody, saying, "I do not want to have sex. I want to avoid," that kind of thing. But either way.
Another thing, I think the reason why some, younger men maybe might be having a problem is because they're afraid of being accused of sexual assault.
Yes. Yeah.
Or they are afraid of being embarrassed or humiliated by the woman talking about the way they have sex.
And women are known to do that sort of thing.
Or something like that.
Yeah. Great observations, Douglas. I want to say thank you for calling and sharing that with us.
One more thing.
Yeah, sure.
That's not related to this topic.
Yeah.
I believe that Trump is indirectly responsible for the killing of those 176 people, because if he had not have killed General Soleimani, that plane would not have been shot down.
I did hear something about a plane today. Thank you for the call tonight, Douglas. I appreciate the comments. The toll-free number tonight is 855-450-FREE. We got more on the way. This is Free Talk Live.
I can definitely say that I have found the best cryptocurrency wallet. Certainly the best named one. I'm Mark Edge, and I love the Edge wallet. I've been using it for the last few months. You can buy, sell, trade, and hold your cryptocurrency securely. I trust my holdings of all the major cryptocurrencies to Edge wallet, and you should too. No long phrases to memorize, just a username and password. Secure your freedom with Edge wallet. Get it now on Apple or Android in the App Store or at edge.app.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Ike was such a sweet, lovable animal, and people would want to pet him, and they'd come up and they'd get close to him, and it would be this instant, oh! My dad didn't want to touch him. It's like, ooh, get the stinky dog away from me.
Even after we'd give her a bath, she would still stink.
Very stinky, both bad breath and bad gas. I asked the vet, and he said some dogs are just stinky.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dinovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
The omega-3 fatty acids.
Flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa.
The digestive enzymes that are cooked out of regular dog food.
The ingredients convinced me that it was definitely worth trying. After about a week, he started smelling normal. My husband and I were really kind of astonished.
Dinovite is nutrition.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
A new report released this week has found that nearly 3/4 of sleepaway campers' parents are currently using their children's time away from home to take the first steps towards filing for divorce.
With 46% of campers' moms currently staying with their sisters while they try to figure it out, and 38% of campers' dads sleeping on the living room couch and staring at the ceiling for hours before falling asleep.
Most campers are, at this precise moment, wholly unaware that their fathers are looking for temporary sublets and are experiencing a level of carefree, joyful buoyancy that experts say they will never feel again.
The majority of campers currently have, on average, 16 days until their lives come crashing down around them, at which point their parents will pick them up from camp, drive them to a restaurant, and then break the news that while they'll always be a family, they won't be living together anymore.
I love camp this year. It's so much fun. Mom sent me so many care packages. Dad even sent one. It's awesome.
This is the Onion News Network.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
It's Free Talk Live and the live Saturday edition here. We will take your calls about whatever's on your mind. The theme for tonight, the conversation we've been having mostly has been about young males and their declining interest, shall we say, over the years in sexual activity.
Bow chicka bow wow.
Very shocking numbers. We'll tell you more about it coming up here. By the way, it's Ian.
And I am the walking dude. I can see all of the world.
You're Captain Kickass.
I am.
LibertyCon is a unique Liberty convention coming up April 3rd through the 5th in Washington, D.C. It'll be for people who care about freedom and maybe they want to network with over 70 pro-liberty organizations, because you can at LibertyCon. Go to libertycon.com, use code FTL. You'll save $10 on your tickets, which are already shockingly affordable for a convention this size. Plus, great speakers like John Mackey, the Whole Foods CEO and co-founder, Vernon Smith, Nobel Prize winner in economics, Miriam Issa, she's a pop culture expert with over 300 million YouTube views, and Nassim Nicholas Taleb, he is the author of The Black Swan. You can learn more at libertycon.com, and again, use code FTL to save $10. Plus, if you're a student, you can get a travel scholarship. That's like the way they kind of help young people who don't have a lot of money get to this thing. So they definitely want young people to attend this. And discounted rooms are available for everybody staying at the hotel, the Marriott Marquis. You can get your registration done over at libertycon.com. It's April 3rd through the 5th. And Free Talk Live, by the way, is going to be broadcasting from the event. So we'll look forward to seeing you there. It's going to be my first LibertyCon. I'm looking forward to checking it out. So code FTL saves you $10. All right, so we've been talking about this story, the New York Post. We're going to get back into that. But first, let's go to David in New Mexico. David, are you with us?
Yeah, can you hear me this time?
Yes, we have you now. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, that old joke about how watching porn changes your sex life. Why do you keep stopping? I learned it watching porn. It's called buffering.
Oh, well, yeah, that's kind of old. It's an old joke, though, because these days, does it really buffer that much? I mean, maybe if you're living out in the middle of nowhere or something.
Did you see the? I'm sorry. Did you see the girl with the?
If it did.
Oh God.
Go ahead.
Did you see the girl? Did you see the girl with the tramp stamp that said loading?
Kaleidoscope eyes? Yeah, I saw her. Try it again.
No.
Go ahead, David. Spit it out. No, don't spit it out. Sorry.
Yeah, right. Listening to you on KENN, and it's KINN, KINN in New Mexico. Now you lost my train of thought.
Pardon me, sir. Would you mind stepping out of your train of thought? You're wandering all over the avenue of consideration.
Just arrest me, Ossifer. Just arrest me.
Can we see your degree,
guilty.
please? Take it out of the frame.
Three sheets. Here's my degree. 3 sheets. Yeah.
All right. What were you calling about?
Oh, hey. Well, about the federal lawsuit that was lost by the district attorney in Albuquerque, New Mexico, Raul Torres. But hey, Captain Kickass, I remember something that's on the cleanup chart here. Russell Means, you brought him up the other day, and
the Indian activist,
to
the Indian libertarian.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I talked to him one time, and I also, on a separate occasion, I met his son, Tatanka Means, and talked to him for a while. So I just wanted to share that with you.
Cool. Congratulations.
Yeah, well, it's kind of cool.
Russell Means was a great libertarian activist. There's no doubt about it, and may he rest in peace.
Yes. So there's a basketball player, J.J. Caldwell, who's got some criminal charges that were pending from an incident at the University of New Mexico. And was being prosecuted, or was supposed to be prosecuted, in the Bernalillo County courts with the Bernalillo County DA, Raul Torres. But the basketball player took the DA to federal court, sued him in federal court. And the reason is that at the university, they had written him up, or I'm sorry, they kicked him off of the basketball team, and they kicked him out of the school. No more education for you, basketball player. And they banned him from public property, the University of New Mexico.
Now, this was before he was convicted, right?
Not only before he was convicted, he wasn't even charged. The DA had not even charged him, and they banned him from all of that stuff. And so he got an attorney and sued the university in federal court for an injunction to stop them from doing what is obviously illegal. And he won in the federal court. And they also cited in their federal lawsuit that New Mexico is known to the FBI to be the most corrupt state in the nation. And everybody in New Mexico listening to me knows that there's a problem with nepotism in the state of New Mexico. The district attorney is married to the dean of students, Nasha Torres, and the dean of students is the one that did the banning of this basketball player. And then,
so wait a minute, who did he sue? Just to be clear, did he sue the school? I missed what you said there.
Yeah, he sued the school because they were illegally banning him, and he won in federal
And what's going to
court.
happen now? Now that he's won, is he going to get a settlement?
Well, I don't think at that time he sued for damages. He just sued for an injunction to make them stop banning him, which was illegal.
See, now at this point, I would say, look, I don't want to go to this school. I'll take the money. You can go ahead. And I would have sued, if I were in his case, I would have sued for damages, taken, hundreds of thousands of dollars away from the school, and then gone somewhere else. Why would you want to go back to a school that obviously doesn't want you there?
Well, I agree. Nobody should go to the University of New Mexico, but for some reason this guy did. But it gets even more. It gets even more fun.
Okay.
Because so the University of New Mexico, they got like 30,000 students. Every year, there's got to be hundreds or thousands of people written up on criminal charges from the University of New Mexico police.
Right.
Because they have their own police force. And all of those write-ups for criminal charges go to Raul Torres, the Bernalillo County DA.
Right.
But all of them are illegal because what came out in this is that Raul Torres, the DA, is married to Nasha Torres, the dean of students. And so it's a conflict of interest. So what they had to do is, after the guy took him to federal court, they transferred his case to a new venue out of Bernalillo County to a different county in the state of New Mexico. Now, what that means is that if his case has to go to a different county because
of the conflict
DA
of interest
Torres is married, that means that every single one of them that comes out of the University of New Mexico cannot be prosecuted in Bernalillo County because Raul Torres is married to Nasha Torres. There's a conflict.
It's interesting. And of course, it would require the young people to be aware of that and actually challenge the jurisdiction and challenge the venue, which, of course, your average college student that gets busted doesn't know what their rights are, and they just go and they pay the fine. Oh, you got caught with underage alcohol possession? Well, that'll be $700. You can pay at the window, and then mommy and daddy show up with a checkbook, and they get them out. That's at least how it works here in Keene, where there's a college in town.
Bizarre to me.
Thank you, by the way, for the call, David.
Yeah, thanks, David. It's bizarre to me how, like, the courts recognize a conflict of interest in, like, that particular scenario, but they don't acknowledge the inherent conflict of interest
within
when
the courts.
The DA and the cop and the judge are all paid
on
by the same
team.
Yeah,
Yeah, toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Hey, that's the best justice system in the world, buddy. What are you being critical of it for? 855-450-3733. You can take control of the airwaves. This is the live Saturday edition. It's Free Talk Live.
Balance of nature. Changing the world, one life at a time.
Back in like January, February, I'd like get home, make myself something to eat, blah, blah, blah. My girlfriend works nights. By like 8:30, 8 o'clock, I'd be in bed. I'm sitting there thinking, okay, if this is what the rest of life is like, I'm doomed. Today is day 14 of me taking Balance of Nature, and my energy level's through the roof. It took me like 5 years of hearing it on talk radio to actually try it. The difference is night and day.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. Call or go online now and become a preferred customer, which gives you our best pricing and free shipping. And we will take an additional 35% off of your first order. This will be a limited time offer, so don't wait. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code FTL.
Uncovering the secrets and exposing the lies. That's what the readers of freedomsphoenix.com get every day. freedomsphoenix.com, constantly providing the information, the real news about government policies, and the real relationship we all have with the coercive government. The real condition of the economy, innovations in technology, breakthroughs in energy, health, and computer science. Learn the truth well before it's admitted to in the lamestream media. The corporate media, nothing more than distributors of government propaganda, but now there's an alternative. freedomsphoenix.com. Constant news updates on the issues that affect your life in the most important ways. With liberty and property under constant attack, freedomsphoenix.com provides the understanding behind the propaganda, and it encourages the participation of its readers. Go to freedomsphoenix.com. That's freedoms with an S, phoenix.com. freedomsphoenix.com. The revolution between the ears has already happened.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm. Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty,
you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at shiresociety.com. That's shiresociety.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. You're invited to join us on the radio here. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. You hop into one of those, you'll sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio with us. It's Ian.
And the captain.
And do you want more businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash? Well, with AnyPay, now finally you can earn passive income for every purchase at those businesses with Bitcoin Cash and Dash. You made it happen, meaning you helped the business sign up, so you receive the rewards. This is something that people who are like me, that are interested in seeing cryptocurrency being used in real life, have been waiting for so long. There have been point-of-sale systems in existence for years, but none of them, until AnyPay, has ever incentivized someone to go out and help new businesses come on board. So here's how you do it. You download the AnyPay Cash Register app. It's available for iOS and Android devices. Don't get any of the other AnyPays. You want the one that's called AnyPay Cash Register. And add your cryptocurrency wallet addresses. So set yourself up with AnyPay first. So you put your own wallet addresses in the setup, and you're good to go there. Then install AnyPay at a real-life business and tell them you did it over at AnyPayInc.com. That's AnyPay, I-N-C. AnyPayInc.com. As we go back to your calls and thoughts, we've got more to the story on young males, not just in the United States. We'll go a little bit further out than that, but shocking numbers of them now choosing to be abstinent, not as sexually driven as the stereotypes would have you believe. Let's go to Dustin first, though. He's listening in Salina, Kansas. Dustin, you're on Free Talk Live, listening to KINA.
Yes, sir. I am.
I'm sorry if you're on some kind of a speakerphone or a.
No, it's just a cell phone.
Okay, it's better now. Go ahead.
Okay, I am a 40-year-old virgin. That pornography is very intimidating. The title.
The title?
Yes, Mama's Girl or Auntie M and daughter, and yeah, very intimidating and disgusting.
Okay. I mean, I have never heard of those movies, but I'm not intimately familiar with the entire industry. They're a very, very large industry. I think thousands of porns are made every single year.
Well, and what's the phrase? If you can think of it, there's
porn
of
it. That's what rule. Is that rule 34?
I believe so. Yes.
So, Dustin, hold on.
Intimidating.
Okay. Let me see if I'm understanding your call. Though you're saying you're 40 years old. You are a virgin. You've never had sexual intercourse with another person?
I've lasted through a 10-year-old flu. From flu to flu, I survived 10 years of celibacy.
I don't understand. Flu to flu? Huh?
Hey, I believe it's a biological term, but celibate for over 10 years.
Celibacy by choice, meaning you've chosen to not have sex. You're not interested in pursuing that?
Kind of, but very intimidated by the pornography and what she would do.
I'm confused when you say you're intimidated by pornography. Are you intimidated in that you are intimidated to watch or to consume pornography? Or are you saying that watching pornography intimidates you into, scares you about having sex with a real woman?
It's kind of like the intimidation of sex with a real woman for the titles and what she would do. And the scenes of the impurity.
Are you getting this, Captain Kickass? Are you having a tough time with this?
I'm not quite grasping the concept.
So hold on, just wait a minute before you go on, Dustin. I'm just trying to understand here. You do not watch pornography.
No, that's the only way to survive on terms of dealing with what she would do.
Well, what would she do?
Well, we can't get into the details on that on the air.
The title, the 34 titles. Now, I do
This
have
is the
other
most
conversations.
confusing,
I feel
disjointed
like,
call.
sometimes folks who are doing illegal things would use like Craigslist to communicate.
Yeah.
And there'd be these cryptic messages
Right.
that you'd find or whatever. I feel like this call is that.
I want to clarify
This is the
something.
audio version
Yeah, I'm
of
having a
that
real tough time understanding where you're coming from here, Dustin. So I'm just going to ask some questions to clarify, and I want you to try to answer the questions clearly for me. Have you ever had sex with another human being in your life?
A females only, but yes.
You have.
Okay.
So you're not a 40-year-old virgin like you said that you were at the beginning of the call.
Celibate for over 10 years.
Celibate for over 10 years. Have you watched pornography during your lifetime?
Yes.
And you find the pornography titles or the content of the pornography to be intimidating or scary in some way?
Yes. For thinking her immaturity. See,
when you say her, who are you talking
I've
about?
got another conversation.
Hold on.
I've got another conversation.
When you say her, to whom are you referring?
Well, terms. Can I slide off the conversation and bring up a point?
Okay.
Sure.
See, I'm working the Tea Party, and I've come up with a department of Book of Love of a recipe that matches name, date, look, identity, and foreign race.
Hey, you know what I wonder? Who wrote the Book of Love?
Thanks for the call. I don't know if he's calling from the psych ward or what's going on there, but
do you see what I mean, though? That sounds like he's broadcasting some sort of secret code.
It was bizarre.
To his underground organization.
I mean, I tried my best to understand, really. I mean, I'm trying over here.
Of what she would do.
And I don't know what he was talking
about. The terms of what she would do. The terms
Let's
of what
go
she
to
would do.
Bree. Bree, you're on the line here in Pennsylvania. Go ahead.
Hi. Yeah, this is Bree. I just wanted to say thanks for taking my call.
That's okay. Go ahead. That's what we do.
My boyfriend is an amplifier of your show and suggests that I call in to talk about what's been going on.
Yeah.
So just me and the cops lately, I just seem like I'm being picked on by them. Like any chance they get to pull me over, they find something to mess with me. And
that's no fun.
So Friday morning, I'm driving my usual route to work, and we get into an accident, and it was most likely the woman in front of the guy in front of me. She stopped for some reason.
So you rear-ended her?
I rear-ended the guy in front of me.
Oh, I see.
But the woman in front of him,
Yep.
I think she was the cause of all of it.
Right.
And it just kind of like piled up. It was a green light. We were getting ready to go, and then he slammed on his brakes. I slammed on mine, but it was too late. So the cop, pointed me out, and I guess singled me out. They all left well before I got to leave. They gave me a sobriety test. They asked for me to do blood, and if I didn't, that's an automatic, suspension or whatever.
Really?
So I did the blood test. Whatever, that's fine.
Did they take blood from you on the side of the road?
No, we went back to the hospital, and they took some blood just to see what was in there, and all they're gonna find is like my prescription medication, which is okay. I'm not worried about that. What I'm worried about is just how easily cops just can't wait to hand out like DUIs. This happened to me a couple years ago where I got a DUI, and I wasn't drunk and I wasn't high, and I passed the field test. And they took me back. They did even more testing. Like, they weren't convinced. So they took me back, gave me more testing, finally let me go. And I fought that with a public defender because they didn't have any evidence. What wound up happening, they gave me a deal at first, which was jail time and money. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. Like, I'm innocent. So so once they heard, fight in my voice, and then I'm fighting this, the DA pulled away and was like, we don't have enough evidence to convict her. But you were originally going to throw me in jail under no evidence.
Sure. Yeah, the majority of court cases are plea deals. So
wait, did they drop the charge?
Yeah. So they dropped the charge, and
kudos.
I won that case. But
it's a nice feeling.
At that time, I did not submit to a blood test. So by that time, I had already served a year of my license being taken away because of the charge.
Wow.
So when I won the case, they were like, well, now you have to have an Intoxilock in your car because you denied the blood test. So I was
That's
like, yeah,
insane.
but I just gave you a year,
Hang on, Bree. We can bring you back here if you get more to say. This is Free Talk Live. We'll talk DUIs.
This message is for all sexually active men. Now, you can get the same active ingredients as in Viagra and Cialis online in chewable form from BlueChew.com. Chewable can mean better, cheaper, and for some men, work faster. Get started 100% online. So no in-person doctor visit, no waiting at the pharmacy, and no more awkwardness. BlueChew.com ships directly to your door in discreet packaging. So order now. You'll love it, and so will your partner. For a limited time, first-time customers get their first shipment free. Just pay $5 shipping when you use the promo code FAST at BlueChew.com. Chewable can mean better, cheaper, and for some men, work faster. That's BlueChew.com, promo code FAST.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. The service is not intended to replace your primary care physician or cure any disease.
Warning, don't let your business get left behind in what is likely to be the biggest economic boom in recent history. If you need to build for your business to grow, call General Steel today for a pre-engineered steel building designed for your needs. No wasted space. Steel prices are expected to rise, but you can still lock in your price on a General Steel building. And you can still save as much as half the cost and time of conventional construction. As much as half. But you must call now. If you need a church building, office, warehouse, manufacturing space, retail space, or more, call General Steel today. You can still get the General's 50-year structural warranty and General Steel quality, all at a price you can afford. So don't let rising steel prices put your project out of reach and stop you from making your company great.
800-965-1295. 800-965-1295. 800-965-1295. That's 800-965-1295.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project early movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
Yeah, it's Free Talk Live. The live Saturday episode here, you may join us. The toll-free number for you is 855-450-FREE.
we were talking about and are going to get back into the story about young men in the United States and beyond and a lack of interest in sex, surprisingly. We can discuss that. Also, we're talking DUIs right now.
DUIs, man.
We're going to get back into that with our caller, Bree, who's still on the line with us.
Or DWIs, depending on what
where
state
you
live
are,
in.
yeah. And so we're going to do that. Your calls and thoughts are welcome. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. But first,
I wanted to tell you about Divvy. The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to spend, earn, store, and exchange digital money in seconds. Divvy says you'll be able to send money around the globe in only a swipe and instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app. You can withdraw directly to your bank account, too. There's no need to wait, though, as Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with their multi-tiered masternodes, allowing anyone to earn by supporting the Divvy network, which is pretty cool. When the new Divvy wallet launches, because of Divvy's relationship with Western Union, Divvy will be in 200 countries, including the United States. You can learn more at divvyproject.org. That's divvyproject.org. So,
as we continue with Bree in Pennsylvania. Now, Bree, let me see if I got this straight. You were charged with DUI in Pennsylvania, and you weren't drunk. You didn't take the blood test, but you did do the roadside tests. Is that right?
Yeah.
And so
Yes.
they took away your driving privileges for a year because you refused the blood test, despite the fact that they ended up dropping the charges because they had no evidence against you. And then they tell you, this is what you told us right before we went to break, then they say, okay, well, even though we didn't actually go ahead with these charges and you've been suspended for a year, we're going to go ahead and require you to put an ignition interlock system in?
Yeah. Yep, that's what they did.
So did you have any prior DUIs to this one?
No, that was my first one, and if I guess my lawyer.
This is
after
Pennsylvania?
that, I finally got a good lawyer.
Right.
So he told me what I should have done, whatever.
What should you have done?
So I forget, but definitely not have denied the blood test.
You should
I guess.
Don't
write
it down when
deny
you
blood
remember.
test.
When you remember what you should have done, write it down so you remember.
So look, I'm not an attorney, and this is not legal advice, but from what I've heard, and it depends on the state, as I understand it, because each state has different rules about what gets suspended and so on and so forth. But I've heard that generally it's a very bad idea to take roadside tests, and if you have to take a test, then take the one that they have to give to you back at the station, whether that's the blood or the machine or whatever that they've got back at the station, because the roadside tests are just about the officer's opinion. It's whether or not the officer thinks that you can pass these tests. They're designed to be unfair and tricky.
Right.
Yes, a lot of these places will suspend you, but the idea being that it's better to have a suspension than it is to have a DUI on your record or whatever.
Yeah.
It's a mess.
So
check your local attorneys.
That was back, a couple years ago. We're going to fast forward to now.
Okay.
Because with the accident, like I said, it was three of us.
Right, you had an accident going to work. You rear-ended somebody.
Yeah, this was on Friday. So the cop singled me out. I asked right away, I said, I need to call my lawyer. He wouldn't let me call my lawyer.
Oh, boy.
And then I was like, what? Why? Like, no, I have the right to call my lawyer right now. He wouldn't let me call my lawyer, but I did have enough time to call my job and say,
Hold
hey,
on, just to clarify something. Did they put you under arrest?
Later they did, but he made me get out of my car and do a roadside test. And he still wouldn't let me call my lawyer after that. Then he put me under arrest. He said, I have reason to suspect that this could be DUI related. And I was like, dude, no.
Now, why did you do the roadside tests in this instance?
Because he was curious, I guess.
So you went along with his curiosity. So again, you're not obligated to, right? It's not your obligation to do the roadside test, as I understand it.
I don't know what would have happened if I said no, but I kept saying, like, I want my lawyer, and he said no. And he never read me my rights, and then after I did the roadside test...
Well, just to clarify something here, generally, and again, I'm not an attorney, but generally they only have to read you your rights if they're going to question you after they've arrested you. So if they arrest you and they don't question you, then they don't have to read you your rights. Even though they do it in all the movies,
right?
They don't legally have to read them unless they're going to try to question you.
But my thing was like, no, he should have let me call my lawyer. But whatever, I guess that's only for questioning. Like you said, I don't know. But so we went back to. So right after that, then he took my blood. Then he took me back to the police thing where then he officially arrested me, took my fingerprints, and let me go. But,
hold on. Just to clarify, they took you to a hospital and took blood from you, then took you to the police station and booked you.
Yep.
This was without processing the blood to see if there was any alcohol in it?
No alcohol and just my prescriptions.
Because you were just going to work.
Yeah, it was 9 a.m.
So you're facing another DUI charge now.
Yeah.
With no evidence.
A great lawyer, right? With no evidence. It was just, an car accident. So I have a great lawyer. He's amazing. He helped me with other things in the past. Because after that last DUI that I was telling you about, just giving you some history, I found an attorney that has what I've been told magic bullets, and he's a Pennsylvania attorney. He's amazing.
Okay.
So he has helped me with other things like just clearing up my record and whatever. And I'm going to use him again for this because it's not
I wish
fair.
you the best, and it sounds like they are definitely coming at you. And
I just feel like they always are.
Kudos to you for being willing to fight these people, because most people aren't willing to do that. They just want to roll over. They want to make the problem go away. They want to pay up.
They don't know.
No, they don't know.
Have enough
They don't know, and that's
like,
the thing. The system picks on people who don't know their rights. They don't know how to stand up for themselves. And Bree, thanks for the call tonight. Feel free to call us again with an update on how this case goes. Hopefully they're going to drop these charges as well. But yeah, this is something that people in each, whatever state jurisdiction that you find yourself in, it wouldn't hurt to get in touch with somebody who knows a thing or two about how things go. Like, if you refuse the roadside tests, what happens? If you refuse the blood tests, what happens? What's the best way of handling a situation like this?
And most people, if they're being harassed or stalked in some way, might call the police, right? But when you're being harassed or stalked by the police, there ain't nobody you can call. So all you can do is just go and do some research on personal protection, go and do some research on law, educate yourself on what to do in these situations.
Well, and I can give you some general suggestions. And again, I'm not an attorney. It's not legal advice. But generally what you want to do is record the interactions that you have with the police, because otherwise it's going to be your word versus theirs. And that's never a situation you want to have in court, because the judge is always going to take the cop's word over yours. Always. No matter how upstanding of a person you might be. And especially if you've got criminal convictions or criminal charges in your past, then you definitely aren't going to hold up against a cop. So if you've got video, then you've got a relatively, obviously these days there's deep fakes and things like that are starting to throw video even into question, but you still have at least a independent observer, the video itself of what was going on in that situation. It's harder for cops to lie if there's an actual video footage of what's going on. And when you pull out your video camera or your phone or whatever it is you're taking video with, that is also an indicator to the officer that he's dealing with somebody who may know their rights. Yeah. And when you can sort of clue an officer in, because it's one thing to say, "Do you know who I am?" That's going to go over wrong. But if at the same time you pull out a video camera and quietly inform the officer that you're going to be recording the incident, that's a very quiet way of informing this person that, hey, I know my rights and I'm willing to exercise my rights. You do what you want, Mr. Officer, but I'm going to get it on video, at least to the point where you put me in handcuffs and, I can't record it anymore.
And there's a bunch of tools out there for that, dash cams and what's the app? Is it still Cell 411?
Cell 411. That allows video streaming. Yeah, it's a great little app.
There's some other apps that you can have, running hidden in the background on your phone, and that record the audio. So If anybody, if you're having an interaction with a law enforcement officer or any government thug for that matter, it can be recording and uploading as long as you're connected to the internet. It'll be uploading to the cloud. So even if they take your phone for some reason, that is captured and saved for later when you can have yourself or somebody else like an attorney access it for you post.
Yes, indeed. Bree, thank you for calling and sharing your story with us here tonight. We got more coming up. Full hour to go on this live Saturday edition. We can get back into the main discussion, which is about some shocking numbers about young males and fear surrounding sex in the United States and maybe even beyond that. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. More coming up. You can join us and also take control of the airwaves. Bring up whatever you want here on Free Talk Live.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org.
Have you heard of LibertyCon? LibertyCon is not only a convention with great speakers like Whole Foods CEO and co-founder John Mackey and Nobel Prize winner Vernon Smith, but it's also unique because you get a chance to network with more than 70 pro-liberty organizations, one-on-one for the purpose of career advancement, business, and internship opportunities. April 3rd through 5th in Washington, D.C. You can learn more by visiting LibertyCon.com and use code FTL for a $10 discount on your registration. That's LibertyCon.com. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with the SNLS Network and listeners like you. Online at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,552, silver at $17.90, and Bitcoin is trading around $7,825. Today's gold, silver, and Bitcoin prices are brought to you by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. The Liberty Beat and Brave Botanicals believe so strongly in the power of kratom, we're giving it away for free. Just go to libertybeat.news/free kratom. This is the Liberty Beat at snlsnetwork.com. In the news, Iran's civil aviation chief is rejecting U.S. claims that Ukraine International Airlines Flight 752 was shot down by Iranian missiles as illogical rumors. On Thursday, Newsweek was among the first U.S. media outlets to cite an anonymous Pentagon official, an anonymous senior U.S. intelligence official, and an Iraqi intelligence official in a report claiming that the Ukrainian jet that crashed shortly after taking off from Tehran was struck by an anti-aircraft missile system. Newsweek's report comes on the heels of a Reuters report, which indicated that the crash of the plane had suffered a technical malfunction and was not shut down. According to Times of Israel, the report quoted 5 unnamed security sources, 3 Americans, 1 European, and 1 Canadian, as saying the initial assessment is that Iran's explanation is accurate. However, an unnamed U.S. official later told Reuters the U.S. satellites detected the launch of 2 missiles before the plane crashed. Ever wonder where we find all the news to report right here on the Liberty Beat? Visit snls.news to get the world's most censored media published all in one place. Save yourself from the endless time spent searching for reliable alternative media. SNLS News makes it quick and easy. No ads, no clickbait, just raw headlines, 24 hours a day. Visit snls.news and get informed today without the corporate media spin. Your news now continues. It's no secret that Bill Clinton was friends with convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein. But not only were the pair friends, Epstein donated significantly to the Clinton Foundation and reportedly played a role in creating the Clinton Global Initiative. The Mind Unleashed reports that it's been widely known that the former president was a frequent passenger on Epstein's private jet, the Lolita Express. Clinton flew on the jet at least 26 times, sometimes with Secret Service and sometimes without. One of the most notable trips took Clinton to Africa in 2002, along with fellow passengers Kevin Spacey, Ghislaine Maxwell, and Ron Burkle. But now, thanks to photos obtained by The Sun, Clinton's adventures on the Lolita Express are more than just flight logs. According to a new National Bureau of Economic Research paper, approximately 100% of the costs associated with the tariffs on Chinese goods have fallen onto American importers and consumers. Activist Post reports it's a simple economic fact that those at the bottom of the production hierarchy, or the consumers, will pay cost increases for any reason. Tariffs are no exception. Research is consistently showing that the finite laws of basic economics don't get broken. In fact, the more government meddling in the issue, the worse it's getting. Free trade should be a human right, but governments of the world have taken it upon themselves to squash the freedom to trade with others for power and political gain. President Donald Trump has repeatedly and falsely claimed that China and other nations have paid the tariffs he levied on thousands of products over the past 2 years. But approximately 100% of those costs have fallen onto American buyers, according to the new National Bureau of Economic Research paper. Support for the Liberty Beat is brought to you by the Homestead Guru. The Homestead Guru is an educational website offering tips, tools, news, stories, and commentary on everything homesteading. Topics include green homes, gardening, animal husbandry, do-it-yourself, home remedies, alternative energy, survivalism, unschooling, and more. Those details are found online at thehomestead.guru. This is the Liberty Beat, powered by the SNLS Network at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Everyone needs to get a justice shed. So you have a place to throw that little juvenile delinquent you caught loitering out on the street corner. This is not rocket science, people. I just call up my neighbors, Frank and Terry. We get out there with baseball bats, fishing nets, and we knock that suspect out. And we toss him in our justice shed. We just start dealing out some shovel beatings. That's democracy, people. That's the biggest benefit of the Justice Shed, people. You are in charge.
Our Justice Shed was all filled up, so we created this Justice Cage. It's just as good. These guys, I think we caught them shoplifting, and this is my daughter's boyfriend.
Look, if you don't have a yard big enough to place a Justice Shed in, go out and get yourself a Justice Barrel. I don't care. The important thing is to take control of your safety by any means necessary.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. You may take control of the airwaves here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. As we're launching here into the third hour of this live Saturday edition of the show.
Do I look like Geordie LaForge?
You do a little bit, yeah. Nice. If you're watching on the cam, you can see Captain Kickass doing silly things with his headphones.
I'm a giant dork, in case you haven't figured that out.
over at, by the way, if you've never seen our cam feeds, if for whatever reason you want to see people with faces for radio, you can do that over at, let's see, dlive.lrn.fm. That's our HD feed.
We are a handsome bunch, I assure you.
And then there's twitch.lrn.fm. You can go to either one of those places. In fact, our DLive channel is up to 996 followers.
Oh, nice.
So we are within 4 followers. We had 997, then it went down to 995.
We need 4. That's a number I can count to. I'm a musician.
Indeed. So if you want to follow us there, we'd appreciate it. And you can do that at dlive.lrn.fm or on our Twitch channel at twitch.lrn.fm. And if you follow those channels on those platforms, they will then give you, if you have the app installed and we go live, it'll give you a heads up. It'll say, oh, hey, Free Talk Live is live. Give you a reminder that we're going on the air, which is pretty nice to have.
Sounds lively.
So if you're just tuning in here in this hour, we have overarchingly throughout the show been talking about this story from New York Post. They've interviewed an author about her new book, looking at young males in the United States. Her name is Peggy Orenstein. Her book, it's a bit of a mouthful here, Boys and Sex, Young Men on Hookups, Love, Porn, Consent, and Navigating the New Masculinity. Looking at some very interesting numbers. She talked to hundreds of young males on her own as research for the book, but also looking at studies like the General Social Survey, finding that men between the ages of 18 and 29, so basically millennials and the early zennials, are having less sex than ever. The number of abstinent men has nearly tripled in the last decade, from 10% in 2008 to 28% last year. That's a huge jump.
You know, that coincides with something that I think comedian Bill Burr has alluded to in one of his comedy specials, that, you know, when's the last time you heard about the latest, young rock and roll band, tearing up a hotel room and, raising hell, getting drunk and, throwing a TV out the window or whatever, that kind of a thing?
I don't know.
His claim was that rock and roll is dead because you don't hear about that kind of thing anymore.
Well, rock and roll isn't what it used to be, that's for sure.
That's true. But I mean, perhaps there is this sort of taming of the male, occurring in our society.
Yeah, I think you posted a meme about that earlier, didn't you? Where it showed back in 1987 or whatever, the rocker was passed out, and then in 2019 it's some geek with a guitar in front of a computer,
in front of a laptop.
So while the boys who spoke to the author, they're talking about pornography at this point in the story, say that porn is about as authentic as pro wrestling, a 2016 study from London-based Middlesex University found that 53% of teenage boys in that survey believe that sex acts featured in porn are mostly realistic. A college sophomore from Chicago told Orenstein, quote, "Everyone watches porn and then gets super nervous about their size. I mean, it's brutal. Like, if you're in the locker room, you're going to turn around and try to hide yourself, or you're not going to change in front of other guys," unquote. Now, this is actually an experience I never had when I was in school. I went to the gifted school, and we only got locker rooms later on.
Only guys who were well endowed, the gifted school?
Not that kind of gift. More like the dorky kind of
the other, okay.
brainy kids. And so they actually ended up getting locker rooms later, but it was towards the end of when I was in the school. It was a weird school because it was all trailers at one point, and then they got their own campus, and there finally was locker rooms, but for whatever reason, it never ended up happening that I had to take PE and go
Only
through
in
that.
Florida could you also go to school in trailers.
Yeah. Did you have any of these weird locker room situations with other guys growing up?
I mean, it didn't seem to really affect me, but for certain there were other kids who were very they wouldn't face you. You know what I mean? They try and sort of mosey into, because you had the group shower in the gym or whatever, and they'd try to mosey in last or get around to to behind the one shower thing, so they couldn't be seen or whatever. So I mean, it was pretty obvious.
Was there a lot of making fun of people?
There was,
over that sort of thing, over their size.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I don't get it personally. I wouldn't have done something like that, at that time. But
young men they're kind of mean.
Yeah, no doubt. But it's not always porn that does the most damage. Porn, says this story at the New York Post, may offer the most ridiculous representations of sex, but mainstream media can spread just as much misinformation, and it's more difficult for younger audience members to separate fact from fiction. Mason, this is the young man they've sort of been following in this story. He's in his 20s now, and he's been awkward about, things like kissing and even hand-holding. He had recently been watching a David Duchovny television comedy called Californication about a womanizing novelist in Los Angeles. The sexual exploits, he says, are just slightly unrealistic, like the main character has sex with everyone wherever he goes. They made it seem so convincing. Whereas if you were to watch a porn video where a dude comes in with his sexual organ in a pizza box, it's like, all right, obviously that's not going to happen in real life. So they made this show seem like this guy was, really good at getting women.
You ordered the extra sausage?
Have you seen the show? I know it exists, but I have not seen the program. Dylan, who's 17, is a high school junior in Northern California. He's handsome, athletic, a straight A student, and captain of the soccer team. He was also, until recently, a virgin. He had drank too much at a friend's party and passed out on a couch. That's where his friend Julia, who was sober, found him. She dragged him, stumbling, to the bathroom and had sex with him on the floor.
Oh, I'm always glad to see another captain, sort of get some. Right?
The next morning, Dylan was horrified and asked Julia why she forced herself on him. He said, "I didn't want to do that," he told her, insisting he wanted his first time to be special. "Oh, please," she shot back. "Don't give me that. All guys want it."
Wow.
Now, isn't that an interesting turn of events?
That sounds a lot like rape.
That sounds like rape. Yeah, to me. And the fact that this young woman is using stereotypes to say that it wasn't rape should be outrageous to people, but I bet she'll get away with it.
No, they'll make jokes about it like I just did a minute ago.
Yeah, well, and if he was her friend, he's hopefully not going to bring charges against her, so she should get away with it. I mean, I don't think she was probably doing the wrong thing in her mind, I guess, but regardless, it was disappointing to him to find that out. He probably didn't even remember it happening. So going on, it was a bias that even Ornstein, that's the author of the book, admits to having. She was shocked by how often the boys shared stories of being on the receiving end of unwanted sex, in which girls didn't hear them or respect the word no, she writes.
I mean, there are some aggressive women out there, man.
Yeah.
I've been with one, and you're like, oh, wow, really? Okay.
I've had a couple women.
They can take you by surprise, you know what I mean?
Ask me to go out with them, and I've turned them down. Was it rape? The boys she interviewed weren't sure. She recalls a college sophomore who told her of losing his virginity at age 14 to a 17-year-old girl at his first high school party. He didn't want to do it, he says, but was too drunk and too worried about rumors that she might spread to leave. So he stuck it out because he was worried about what she might say about him. He didn't, or quote, like, if it's the guy who didn't consent, what do you call that? He asked the author. You call it rape.
Well, yeah, that's what you call it. I mean, there is a double standard. It does exist, but that is what you call it.
And it makes you wonder how common this is, because we've certainly talked about, people not reporting sexual interactions or rape or whatever, because rape is, sort of known, at least as far as female victims are concerned, as something that does tend to go unreported in a lot of instances.
I would bet dollars to donuts that men aren't going to report that.
That's what I'm saying. How much? What portion of these? How often is this happening, and how often do they get reported? Probably even less often than female rape. If what is true holds true about, if what is true about domestic violence holds true about rape, because there are a ton of instances where women will attack men in domestic situations, and they won't call the cops.
Right.
And that's for different reasons, because, men aren't supposed to fight back, or, there's all these rules around how male...
I got to be macho, right?
Male behavior is supposed to be when it comes to the, domestic incidents. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. According to a 2017 study at Columbia University, 80% of victims of sexual assault were women, but men were also being increasingly targeted, with 1 in 8 male students reporting being coerced into non-consensual sex. Our toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. If you want to weigh in, you can. Join us here on Free Talk Live.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help. Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite. Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops, get the 3rd bottle free. New improved Lico Chops with omega-6, omega-3, vitamin E, and now 6 extra direct-fed microbials. Even better for the digestive tract and immune system. And dogs love it. Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free. This is Henry Lukasevic for Dynavite.
DINOVITE.com.
I want to tell you about my favorite cryptocurrency wallet, Edge Wallet, at edge.app. Edge is the wallet I use more than any other, and that was true long before Edge Wallet became a sponsor of Free Talk Live. Edge Wallet allows you to buy, sell, trade, and securely hold your cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, tokens, Monero, Ripple, Dash, Bitcoin Cash, and more. It's available for both Android and iOS, and you can download it via the Play or App Store or via Edge Wallet's website, edge.app. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet.
Balance of nature, changing the world one life at a time.
I started taking them about 7.5 years ago. It was right after I lost my husband. My husband passed away. I was grieving so bad I wasn't eating at all. I mean, I just didn't care. And so I heard the advertisements on the radio, and I thought, well, my family's upset about me. I got to get myself straight, and I started taking them. So I always say they kind of saved my life, you know. They gave me back my life. I would say that.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. Call or go online now and become a preferred customer, which gives you our best pricing and free shipping. And we will take an additional 35% off of your first order. This will be a limited time offer, so don't wait. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code FTL.
Are you making sense to the boomer mindset? I'm Holland Cook from survivalspeech.com. 80 million baby boomers comprise 25% of the population and control most of the USA's wealth. As aging parents pass on, they'll control more. Boomers are 46 to 65 years old and regard themselves as midlife. They identify as neither young nor old. They're post-minivan and pre-retirement, and they don't like being called boomers. They think me. Many of the purchases boomer couples make are individual purposes. They've been experimenters all their lives. If you want their attention, tell stories and keep it simple. If something seems complicated, boomers can dismiss it as, I don't need this. And if you're looking for work, you may be applying to a boomer, so relate accordingly. From survivalspeech.com, I'm Holland Cook.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Do you want more businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash? Now with AnyPay, you earn passive income for every purchase at those businesses. Finally, a financial incentive to spread Bitcoin Cash and Dash. You made it happen, so you get the rewards. Download the AnyPay Cash Register app and add your cryptocurrency wallet addresses. Then install it at a real-life business and tell us what you did at anypayinc.com. anypayinc.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. You're invited to join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. Here tonight, it's Ian.
And I've got something to say. No, it's just the captain.
Well, I hope you have things to say. It seems
I
like
have
you
plenty
do.
to say.
That's why you're here.
I forgot what I was going to say.
But we'd rather have you say things, because that's why we have open phones every night here on Free Talk Live.
I do enjoy the callers. I really do.
You can say things, and we don't have to say as many things. That helps.
It does.
Because honestly, I don't want to listen to myself talk. That's why I have co-hosts and callers. Right?
I haven't run out of things yet, though. Yeah. So, I mean, I always have some things. But one day, it's going to happen. I'm going to show up and be like, Ian, I'm out of things.
That's okay. I'm here to help. So we've got more to say on the topic of young males and abstinence being at shocking levels.
30% or 28%?
Almost 30. Yeah, 28% as of last year, up almost 3 times since a decade ago. And these are people who are choosing. You know, this isn't people who are not choosing. You know, like they're just sexless because. It's people who are choosing not to have sex. And young males and this sort of the stereotyping
of young males that everybody who's a young male must be horny. They must be always wanting sex. They'll never refuse it. And we're going to continue with that discussion. Of course, also want to let you know about Bitcoin.com and their brand newish site that started this summer called local.bitcoin.com, where you may buy or sell Bitcoin Cash globally with no identification requirements to sign up for the site. Plus, all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. So buy or sell Bitcoin Cash at local.bitcoin.com. And of course, you can also go to bitcoin.com to get some of the latest news headlines about Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, and Bitcoin Cash. And it's a pretty cool site. Plus, if you're brand new to Bitcoin, that's a good place to go to get started. It's, once again, bitcoin.com. As we go back to your phone calls and thoughts, let's talk to Schmidt, calling from Mobile, Alabama, listening to WAVH FM. Go ahead, Schmidt.
What's up, guys? How are y'all tonight?
Hey, what's on your mind?
Yeah, y'all were calling you about abstinence. I'm actually one of those males.
How old are you?
I am 24.
Okay, you are right within that range. So have you had sex previously and you've chosen to be, without sense, or you have not had sex yet at all?
I have not had sex at all. I've been close a few times, but I've never actually gone through with it.
Well, so why? What's your reasoning for this?
Well, nowadays I feel that we are in a super sexualized society as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
I feel it is more acceptable nowadays, for everybody to have sex and have a lot of it with several people. And I just don't trust it. I feel it's a little reckless because you have the risks of pregnancy, possibly getting disease, and you're not knowing it, and it can change your life. And we've seen a lot of people weaponizing it nowadays. People trying to scam other people out of money. You've got cases of women saying they need money for abortions because you got them pregnant and you didn't, or
they use it to take a trip to Mexico.
Yeah, it's
so I've been told.
It's just all over it's all over the place. You have as I said, you have revenge porn, when you send nudes, because usually when you're in that lifestyle, you're sending nude pictures to people, and it's just, I don't see the benefits of doing it with random people. Now, if I
don't either. I got to agree with you there. And before you go on, though, I'm curious, this is the hookup culture, right? This is the name for this sort of behavior. And obviously there's a name for it for a reason, but do you feel like it's overblown? I mean, as far as the people the people who you're friends with, are there really that many of them who are just going out and hooking up, who are just meeting randos on Tinder or at a bar or whatever, having sex with them once and then just, not seeing them again, or that are really living this lifestyle? Or is it something that we feel like is happening more than it actually is?
Well, honestly, I'm not sure, because I've seen both. Like some of my closer friends, they are abstinent because they feel the same way that I do.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I've also had coworkers, I've had friends that have Tinder installed on their phone. They're constantly going out. They've got different women all the time. They're constantly talking to different women.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's a good 50-50, quite honestly. I think, and it also varies demographically. I think like where in more rural areas, it's, more conservative. Whereas in the city, places like California as well, I feel it is more acceptable to, just sleep around.
What do you think, Captain Kickass? I mean, you're the older gentleman here in the room. I mean, is this something that you see with your, people in your age range happening?
To an extent.
You were in
right?
Seattle, which is a lefty city.
Yeah, I mean, a bunch of Tinders there. I did know a guy who, relocated from somewhere else to the Seattle area, did a bunch of Tindering, and I sort of quizzed him on, I think he was on a good 2, maybe 3 dates a week for, I don't know, a good 6 weeks or something. Like he was.
And were the dates culminating in sexual activity?
Some of them,
mm-hmm.
Some of them, others not so much. I mean, he was. He was being selective, right? So, like, the first date would always be something like coffee, something quick, right? Get kind of meet and greet, see if they
vibed or whatever,
and then go for that second date. So, but it works, right? Those apps work.
What about Schmidt? Tell me about relationships. I mean, you said you've come close a couple times. Does that mean that you were in a relationship and came close, or what were those circumstances?
They were all relationships.
Mm-hmm.
I have never been too into, going out and just finding someone I barely know. Like I've said, if it's, I feel like if I'm in a relationship with someone and it is committed enough and I feel the relationship is good enough, then I'm open to it. But it's, it's a long-term relationship type thing.
Yeah.
It's not a hit it and quit it like a lot of these people do.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I mean, I'm not abstinent necessarily. I mean, I haven't been with anybody in quite a while, but not by choice. But ultimately, I kind of feel the same way as you. To me, intimacy is something that I would only want to share with somebody I cared about. I wouldn't want to, just be with some woman for a night.
I think it devalues it.
Yeah.
I think it actually devalues it, and it becomes just another part of a relationship. Like it is, from a lot of people I know, they consider it, weird if you've met somebody and like on the first or second date it hasn't gotten sexual. Whereas me, I think that robs from the relationship on getting to know somebody. Whereas when you wait, it becomes a little bit more special. It's just different.
I can understand where you're coming from. I will say that I don't have the same experience. I have had sex on a first date, but that was after getting to know that person to some extent online and having a really good connection with that person, and it just everything felt right in that instance. So I wouldn't say that I have any hard and firm rules.
Yeah.
I don't have any hard and firm rules about that, but I do have an appreciation with where you're coming from, because I think that those things are special, and anything that does deletes the specialness from it, I find to be, unfortunate.
Well, like you was just saying, I actually find that would be perfectly acceptable too, because you've chatted with the person, you've gotten to know the person. Yeah. I'm meaning solely like I just sent you a couple messages over Twitter, or I bought you a drink at the bar.
Bing, bang, boom.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, in situations like that, I think it devalues it. But like if you're talking to somebody, even if you haven't met them, but you're chatting online like through a dating site or something, I find that perfectly acceptable, and I feel people can do what they want to do.
Schmidt, interesting call. I want to say thank you for sharing, on this very, intimate topic, and I wish you the best in finding the right partner at the right time. Thank you for the call tonight. I appreciate hearing from you. There's more coming up here at 8:55, 450 free. If you want to jump in, you can. This is Free Talk Live. Have you heard of LibertyCon? LibertyCon is not only a convention with great speakers like Whole Foods CEO and co-founder John Mackey and Nobel Prize winner Vernon Smith, but it's also unique because you get a chance to network with more than 70 pro-liberty organizations, one-on-one for the purpose of career advancement, business, and internship opportunities. April 3rd through 5th in Washington, D.C. You can learn more by visiting libertycon.com and use code FTL for a $10 discount on your registration. That's libertycon.com. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Free Talk Live.
I have been in the Central Square in Keene, New Hampshire with a group of people, and people have smoked cannabis there. If you don't want to inhale the cannabis, don't stand right in front of me as I'm smoking the joint. I'm not going to make an effort to blow anything in your face. That would be rude. That would be a violation of your personal space. But if you're downwind somewhere and you can smell the aroma of the pot being smoked, that in no way, shape, or form is having any effect on you.
What if they're standing 5 feet away?
You are being ridiculous.
No, I'm saying.
You are being ridiculous. No. The only way you're going to get high, sir, the only way you're going to even have a chance of feeling any sort of effect is if I go walk up right into your face and blow it up your nose.
Nice try, troll.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Free speech is protected on the internet, right? Not always. Government agencies try to limit free speech and commerce on the net. Luckily, when they do, the Institute for Justice is there to defend your First Amendment right to free speech. IJ helped set the first federal precedent for internet free speech in 1999, and ever since has worked to prevent unconstitutional roadblocks in cyberspace. Visit our website today at ij.org.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
The political world is a maddening cesspool of corruption and lies. Nobody tells the truth. Nobody keeps campaign promises. Nobody obeys the Constitution. Nobody puts the people first. How can we ever escape this web of tyranny? Vote for nobody.
Hi, my name is Nobody. I'm running for governor of New Hampshire because nobody knows how to live your life better than you do, and nobody deserves that kind of power. I want to put you back in control of your money, your lifestyle, your work, your body, and your life. Nobody should rule you but you. New Hampshire convicts many people of so-called crimes that should never have been prosecuted. If elected, I will pardon every victimless crime in New Hampshire history. This includes drug, gambling, prostitution, gun, and driving offenses. Nobody should have a criminal record when they have not harmed anybody.
Wouldn't it be nice to have nobody telling you what to do? Learn more at electnobody.com. electnobody.com.
Live video of our key New Hampshire-based shows is streamed on DLive. Please follow and share at dlive.lrn.fm. That's dlive.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. You may bring up what you want here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Like Freedom, the live Saturday edition of the show. With you tonight, it's Ian.
And I am Captain Kickass.
Yes, indeed. And we'll continue taking your phone calls and thoughts about whatever's on your mind coming up in the summertime. Second week, actually, in the summertime, June 29th until July 5th. Get ready for ForkFest 2020, the fourth year of the decentralized libertarian camping festival known as ForkFest.
I'm going to be there.
Your first time.
I am. That's true.
So we've been talking about first times here tonight. It'd be your first time at ForkFest.
Yes.
And
I'm going to double bag it, too.
Does that mean... Well, see, up here there's the double bag.
We were talking about sexual innuendo? Yeah.
Yeah, well, there's also a drink called the double bag up here.
Oh.
There's a beer made by Long Trail Brewing Company out of Vermont.
Long Trail. That's delicious.
It's a double the alcohol beer.
Oh,
so it's called the double bag.
I got to try that.
It's a good one. It's got pictures of cows on the front. Check it out. Forkfest.party. You can go there to learn more about the event. It is decentralized, as I said, which means there's no board of directors. There's no organizers. It's just a campground. Rogers Campground. Now, the campground does have some rules, but they're pretty easy going. You can pretty much do what you want. People have set up vending booths this last year, and everyone is taking cryptocurrency for meals. Like, people were cooking at their campsites, which was really awesome. We had some great food this year. It was bigger this year than it had ever been, and it was much bigger than I expected that it was going to be this year. So I'm expecting 2020 to top that. And it will also be during Independence Day weekend, which is going to be a first for ForkFest, because this year ForkFest is moving until after the Porcupine Freedom Festival, which is another Freedom Fest that happens, albeit one that's got organizers and ticket prices and things like that. So you don't have to pay for a ticket to ForkFest, because there are no tickets to ForkFest. You just get your camping site or your RV site, or you can get a motel room on Rogers Campground, and you can share ForkFest with other freedom-loving people. It's going to be a good time, and you get to decide what to do. You know, you can just come and hang out and do camping things, hang out by a campfire or whatever. Or you can create something for the other campers to attend. Maybe you want to put on a musical event, or you got a poker table, put a poker night on.
Is Man Camp going on again this year?
I believe Man Camp will be going on this year, yep. So Jay Noon will have teachers teaching manly things to people.
I heard about it last year, and I thought that was cool.
It's a great idea. And again, he didn't have to ask anyone's permission. He just set it up and promoted it, and it was awesome. So, there's other things that people are talking about doing. We don't know what's going to materialize. It's still pretty early. We got 6 months to go here. So you can start planning now, though.
Is anyone going to do Asian food?
I don't know.
That's Szechuan innuendo.
Was it now? June 29th until July 5th. Mark your calendar. Get started. Learn more at forkfest.party. That's forkfest.party. party. As we go back to the phones here, Turd Ferguson is on the line on our Discord lines, calling from Pennsylvania. Go ahead, Turd.
Yeah. Hey, Ian and Captain Kickass. Yeah. So I wanted to call in to respond to that last caller.
All right, what's cracking?
Yeah, and I forget what the guy's name was, but he called in about his incelliness, I guess, or his.
No, I don't think that he was an incel. An incel is
abstinent.
Somebody who's involuntarily celibate. An incel is somebody who really wants to get laid and is striking out over and over again. This guy said that he has had opportunities and he chose not to.
Yeah, quote unquote opportunities and quote unquote, yeah, he's been abstinent. Yeah, I believe that for about all of
Turd's not a believer.
Seconds. Yeah,
why would you think he'd lie about that?
Because there are a lot of guys, beta males, that exist in the world that feel the particular need to justify their inability to attract women and have sex with them by saying, "Well, I had some opportunities, but I didn't do it." And then when the time rolls around, when you turn 24 and you still haven't done it, then you get to call talk radio and talk about how you've actually been offered how you get offered to have sex with women all the time, but you just turn it down.
Well, no, I don't think that's what he said. I mean, you're being pretty rude to this guy. I mean, he called in to share his viewpoint and his perspective on things, and you just you've thrown him in the trash as though it means absolutely nothing. And I think that he was very honest with what he was saying. You're saying he's being completely dishonest. What would the purpose of the call be?
I think he's beta. And he did it to help his own self-esteem. That's what he did. He had to call in national radio to talk about his beta cuckiness because he can't get laid.
Okay, well, that's your opinion.
Okay, well,
thanks for the call.
He really pushed that one out.
855-450 free.
To be
slid
fair,
right in there.
His name is Turd, so he was going to crap on him. So
Yeah, 855-450 free. You can bring up whatever you want. I don't know. I mean, I think that getting on the radio and calling somebody else a beta is kind of a lame thing to do.
Yeah,
I mean, you're obviously not like in touch with whatever you're about.
It's one of the great things about Free Talk Live is we get to talk to them all.
You can be as lame as you want. Go right ahead. So we continue here a little bit more from this story at the New York Post about the studies, various interesting studies about young males and their viewpoints about sex these days. According to a 2017 study at Columbia University, 80% of victims of sexual assault were women, but men were being increasingly targeted, with 1 in 8 male students reported being coerced into non-consensual sex.
1 in 8?
That's those who, self-reporting, right? It may be higher, but they didn't want to admit it. And in 2017 study at New York University, sociologist Jesse Ford interviewed 40 straight male and female college students about their sexual experiences. Most men admitted that they would have sex even if they didn't want to, because guys should always be, quote, down to F, unquote. Rejecting an invitation to sex was considered unmanly or gay. And I suspect Turd Ferguson would be one of the people who would be saying things like that.
Yep.
When young men have sex forced upon them, it sends mixed signals and makes it harder for them to understand the concept of consent altogether. Orenstein says if they can't say no, how are they supposed to hear it? The solution for all this isn't what most parents want to hear. They need to have a straightforward talk with their sons about sex. She says, I know it's awkward, I know it's excruciating, I know it's unclear where to begin, but this is your chance to do better. I think my parents' idea of this was to leave the Joy of Sex book on their bookshelf.
Here, son, read a book.
Well, they didn't point it out to me, but I found it.
We actually had a sex ed class in middle school, and it was horrible. It really was.
Well, they don't actually teach you about sex.
In retrospect, it was horrible. It was all just diagrams and terminology. You know what I mean?
Well, what kind of diagrams are we talking about? Just
because
they're not the male body, the female body,
yeah,
right?
They're not going to show you actual photos,
right?
You
don't learn about sex in sex ed.
It almost looks like a blueprint. You know what I mean? Like that sort of cutaway diagram.
Mason agrees, says he can remember the exact moment where some parental intervention would have made a difference. He was a teenager sitting in the basement of his family's home on a couch browsing porn on his school-supplied iPad. His father walked in and saw what he was doing.
Well, he's getting his sexual education.
Dad scolded him, saying, "You shouldn't be watching that. It's bad for you." And Mason was well aware his father had a trove of bookmarked porn on his own computer, so he snapped back at his dad, saying, "Don't be a hypocrite. I've seen all the stuff you watch."
Yeah, so the dad should have followed that up with, "Hey, that's bad for you. You shouldn't be doing that. Let me see that thing."
I'm going to need to take a close look. Do as I say, not as I do, son. The father didn't say another word. He just turned on the television and watched it silently with his son and then went to bed. He said, "I feel like he sort of failed me," said Mason. If he'd used the opportunity to start a conversation to tell his son, "Hey, this will skew the way you view women. It's not only going to keep you from interacting with girls in a healthy manner." He said Mason thought that could have made the difference for him. He said, "But my parents were too fearful to actually deal with any of it. Real conversations about what's actually involved in a healthy sexual relationship can make all the difference. But of course, if the parents themselves aren't having a healthy sexual relationship, how would they know? How would they know what to say in those circumstances? Or if your parents are divorced and
you can't
fighting.
learn healthy habits from unhealthy people.
Right.
It's true.
For Mason, it finally happened with his girlfriend, Jeannie, who repeatedly tried and failed to seduce him. After their third date together, in which Mason declined to have sex with her yet again, she asked him pointed questions about his anxiety and why sex felt so scary to him. He said it felt like a storybook moment. Her openness to his insecurity and lack of sexual confidence allowed him to let his guard down. So finally finding a partner that was actually willing to listen to him and, understand. And be patient. 855-450-FREE. You can join us here. Share your thoughts with us. Take control of the airwaves. This is Free Talk Live.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
I'm here with Scott Useum, founder of OMG Tax. Tell us how your company helps our listeners out there who have a problem with the IRS.
My team of lawyers, enrolled agents, and licensed tax experts remove wage garnishments sometimes in the same day. We even have reduced the total debt some of our clients were required to pay through what is known as an offer in compromise.
Can you give us an example of somebody you help?
Oh, can I ever? We have taken a $500,000 liability with the IRS. Guess what? The client didn't pay a dime through the representation known as non-collectible status with the government.
If you owe the IRS more than $10,000 and you want to see if it's possible to pay a lot less, call OMG Tax right now for a free tax-saving consultation.
Call 800-486-8112. 800-486-8112. 800-486-8112. That's 800-486-8112.
Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon you'll need a plan and place to survive. Forget bunkers. You're not a live underground gopher. You need survivalist camps, the ultimate fully functional, off-the-grid mobile survival bug-out house that's well-equipped and custom-built to outlast any other RV or trailer. Bold statement? You bet. See them now at survivalistcamps.com. That's survivalistcamps.com. Trust your family's survival to survivalistcamps.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
It is Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever you want here. 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And Turd Ferguson is getting pounded in the chat room. Yeah, they're not happy with him over that last call. With you tonight, it's Ian.
And the captain.
Yes, indeed. And so we're going to change gears here. We've been talking a lot about sex and young people and surprising statistics here, but other things are of interest. Captain Kickass, you've been following this new thing called Spacechain.
Yeah, so I think I talked about Bitnation on a couple of episodes.
You'll have to recap, though.
On the show. Bitnation is the idea that we can have governance supplied to us, or the services that governments claim to provide, right? Security and, all that kind of stuff, roads, et cetera, and so on, supplied to us through a borderless, decentralized governance model that's based on the blockchain.
Governments without borders?
Correct. Yeah, government services that you can subscribe to, right?
And you can choose? You can have a choice?
You can have a choice, yeah.
This is crazy stuff you're talking about here.
It is. So, Bitnation is an interesting concept. An even more interesting concept that I recently stumbled upon is something called Spacechain, and this is spacechain.org. This is a decentralized, borderless, virtual space agency. Right, so they've got eyes on going to outer space, putting people out in space, but they want to do it. It's a private thing, right? But there's no owner. It's not like Elon Musk says we're going to build this, private space agency and build private shuttles. It's a decentralized, borderless, virtual group of people with no single person in charge. So it's based on
Bitnation, weren't they already trying to go to space before Spacechain, or am I thinking of some other kind of?
Not Bitnation. Bitnation was just the concept of the decentralized, borderless, virtual nations.
Yeah, because I was thinking about something else.
Spacechain is basing this organization on the Bitnation platform, which is how I found out about it.
We had talked previously, and I think it was before you were on Free Talk Live. We talked about there was some kind of blockchain nation thing that was trying to launch satellites, and that way their nation could be based from space or whatever.
Right.
I don't know if that's related to this.
I don't remember that, but how Spacechain, is constructed isn't really of all that much importance once you start reading what Spacechain is. And this is just their objectives from the website. Number one, create a decentralized and open source space agency. Sounds pretty cool, right?
All right.
Number two, research and develop new and better technology for space travel and space missions. Also sounds pretty cool. Develop new eco-friendly fuel for space vehicles, aka rocket fuel. Develop a new generation of navigational systems, as the current GPS accuracy and maximum performance, speed, and altitude is limited for space research. Number five, create a cheaper technology and platform on open source basis that enables those with limited budget to reach space and or do experiments in microgravity environments. So, right now, if you want to go to space, well, you can't, right? But we're on the verge of where you can spend millions of dollars to be one guy that goes up in a shuttle and sort of hangs out in space and comes back, and then you're like, yeah, I was in space or whatever. But they're talking about making it available to the poor. Right, or
which it
the
will
curious,
eventually.
Right? The amateur scientist who oh yeah, I want to do a thing and I got to send a thing into space, so they want to be able to do that.
And that's where, I mean, even without this, obviously space travel is going to go. It's going to be the richest of the rich who can afford it at first, and then like any new technology, the price will come down because there is a high demand for this thing, right? Like, I mean, every kid wants to go to space, so I mean, there's going to be a lot of people.
I'm 47 years old and I want to go to space too.
Right. So there's a lot of people who want to do this. So there's a lot of money that's going to be made. If they can figure out a way to make it cheap.
Yeah. Number 7, research in alternative energy sources, mainly antimatter, trapped in Earth's magnetic field. So they went, do research on antimatter. Okay. Number 8, research and develop technology for mining minerals and resources on other celestial bodies, like the moon or on asteroids.
Okay.
So now we're talking, what's the TV show? The Expanse.
Yeah.
Right? Where they're mining the the rocks, and so now you've got a whole bunch of belters out there doing mining operations.
Good show, by the way. I did catch up on it.
Yeah, it is a good show. It's one of my faves. Number 9, creating communication networks and data centers in Earth orbit beyond the reach of any state or regime to work toward total immunity and neutrality of the future IT infrastructure.
That's a valuable idea.
That's what they're talking about right there is literally outbuilding the government, right?
Going beyond their reach.
Making it so that governments are irrelevant, right? Governments already kind of claim to own outer space.
Sure.
Right? And you're like, really? Like, you don't own outer space? I mean, people think governments own the Earth already. Well, who did they buy it from, right? So to think that they own space is ridiculous.
You can't own what you can't control. So it's going to be hard. It's going to be a lot harder for them to control space.
Number 10, building.
They'll try, though.
Yes, they will. Number 10, building fuel depots and an international network-based virtual currencies for refueling of satellites and other space vehicles. Number 11, doing research in the field of space medicine and the effects of microgravity and cosmic radiation on living organisms. And number 12, doing research on the effect of cosmic radiation on electronic components in order to develop new technology that is able to withstand the harsh environment of outer space. There's a little sentence here. Every experiment at Bitnation Space Agency is carefully planned by a team of specialists. Every project has a leading officer in charge and accountable to our stakeholders.
So this just was created recently? How long has this been?
I have no idea. It doesn't say anything on the...
So, okay, tell me more about this, though. So Bitnation is a alternative opt-in governmental structure that is blockchain based.
Correct. Yeah. They have
and you
their
can
own
join.
They have their own token
today.
Yeah, you can. They have their own token. They do offer a Bitnation passport. I don't know.
You don't have it yet?
I don't have one. No, I mean it costs money, right?
How much have you joined the Bitnation now?
I have only in the way that I've downloaded their app. Right?
Okay.
So I've signed up. I've downloaded the app. It's still in its infancy, so they only offer a few services, things like notary services, that kind of thing. So the concept hasn't been 100% actualized, but they do have a token. I think they changed the name, but it was XPAT was their token, which is one of the greatest token names. So
how does it? So how does this new thing, the Spacechain, how does it tie in to Bitnation?
Okay, so Spacechain is like a blockchain for space. To really simplify it, blockchain is like an OS running on many computers worldwide in a decentralized network. We know this. Bitcoin was the first app to run on the blockchain, which was followed by over thousands of other virtual currencies or services like smart contracts that use the blockchain in order to work. Spacechain is built on top of the blockchain source code and modified for applications in the space industry. Bitnation Space Agency is just like Bitcoin once was for blockchain, the first app to use Spacechain in order to create a decentralized and transparent space agency with an open source ideology, with the goal to make space travel as DIY friendly as possible and available without restrictions to any individual at any time.
So
this doesn't talk about the mechanics, but it does say the agency is nonprofit with its headquarters in Stockholm, Sweden.
But the idea is that is a way
under the Bitnation jurisdiction as a part of Bitnation Pangea.
It's So, okay, but this is a space agency that one could fund if one said, oh, I agree with those 12 provisions. I think those are good visions for, the future. I want to help support this. They can give money in the form of, I presume, cryptocurrency to this space agency. They're saying they've got full transparency. They're going to show you where the money's going, how it's being spent. They've got, probably a goalposts that they're trying to reach with these various different things that they want to accomplish. And so therefore, if you feel like they are not accomplishing those things, you don't have to give them any more money. You can stop doing that. Whereas NASA, for instance, continues to be funded no matter what sort of garbage it is that they're spending the money on, no matter the fact that they haven't really upgraded their space technology in 30 years or however long it's been since the space shuttle came out, this beast of a device that they have to roll out on this humongous loader thing that is just huge and heavy, and it's never changed. I'm sure you're well aware, SpaceX, the contests that happened, it's been 2 decades now, roughly, since that first happened, where there was this X Prize that got, these super efficient shuttles to be developed. So really the question is it open to where there's this, countries that will allow these people that are doing Spacechain to launch these experiments? Or are governments going to stop them from reaching outer space?
That's the question that remains to be seen. We'll see.
Because if they can do this stuff, they can launch their experiments out there and do this, then I think that'll be wonderful, and it will add a level of competition that hasn't existed before. It's very exciting.
It's a kick-ass idea.
I'm sure you'll keep us informed about that. You can visit more with Captain Kickass on his website, lcaptainkickass.com. Meanwhile, we'll see you tomorrow, freetalklive.com.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app, and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit divvyproject.org. divvyproject.org. Free Talk Live is now on more than 200 radio stations nationwide. We've had more than 18 million podcast downloads, and we claim millions of listens a month. We're a multimedia ad venue with print, email, web, and terrestrial radio marketing platforms. We strive to have ad packages that cater to advertisers big and small. Contact me today at mark@freetalklive.com to see what we can do for you. mark@freetalklive.com. If you're a local advertiser, contact this station. But if you can service a national audience, contact me, mark@freetalklive.com. I'm crazy about My Magic Mud. This is the most important oral care product created this millennium, and I'm not kidding. We all have different opinions on politics and issues, but we all have mouths. And I want yours to be as clean as possible, with teeth as bright as they were meant to be. I will never be without My Magic Mud. It's a little surprising, but man, does it work. If you only listen to one thing I say ever, go to mymagicmud.com and get 20% off with code FTL. mymagicmud.com, code FTL.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Questioning Authority is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with the SNLS Network and listeners like you. Online at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,552, silver at $17.90, and Bitcoin is trading around $7,825. Today's gold, silver, and Bitcoin prices are brought to you by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. The Liberty Beat and Brave Botanicals believe so strongly in the power of kratom, we're giving it away for free. Just go to libertybeat.news/free kratom. This is the Liberty Beat at snlsnetwork.com. In the news, Iran's civil aviation chief is rejecting U.S. claims that Ukraine International Airlines Flight 752 was shot down by Iranian missiles as illogical rumors. On Thursday, Newsweek was among the first U.S. media outlets to cite an anonymous Pentagon official, an anonymous senior U.S. intelligence official, and an Iraqi